Make sure to support our sponsor, bagofdicks.com. While there are a ton of imitators out there, bagofdicks.com is the original prank gift. They've teamed up with Gag on This podcast to do weekly giveaways. You could win an original bag of dicks, a singing bag of dicks, and one grand prize winner will receive the evil bag of dicks. Excellent. Just like the post on our Facebook and or Twitter, and you'll automatically be entered. Also, you can use promo code GAGONPODCAST on their site, and you'll receive 20% off. Holy shit! Make sure to use the link on our Facebook or Twitter so they know that we sent you. They come in multicolor, pink,
heavy on the Athador,
and black dicks.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Because let's face it, nothing sounds better than being able to tell someone, hey, gag on this bag of dicks. Bagofdicks.com.
Get on with it!
Standing up and I want to knock you down. I'll put you into a base.
Never seen a Harry
We'll just
Potter.
let you win. Did you read it at all, though?
No.
No? Okay. So.
No.
Okay.
I haven't read a book since like fourth
I was going to say, Danny,
never read a book.
I have read a book.
Hey,
You just said you did it.
If you're
I
looking,
haven't read since like
if you're
fourth
looking
grade.
for a new niche to fill,
Yeah.
like as far as sexual stuff goes.
Reading?
Hell yeah, dude! Like, think about
Yeah.
how many nerds are just like, you know, like I've
into that.
fantasized about like hiring a woman's services for the night and just like read with her,
Oh my God,
like
that
give
would
her
be
a
great.
night off, you know, that
That'll
kind
be
of
a
thing.
trip.
Danny's got a lot of time on her hands.
That'll be a trip.
Yeah.
There you
Would
go.
you like to teach me how to do fractions and read, Damien?
Now, am I charging you? Like, how does this work?
Yeah, you know, we'll work
Sweet.
it out in
So I gotta
photos.
go get a
I like
pen.
this.
Do you need a...
No, you don't.
Not now.
Okay.
Still.
Yeah, we're not going to do it now.
Okay.
We'll do it after the break.
No, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
he said he's still hearing out of one ear. Rob, you are fucking this
Hang
up.
Let me see. Now I can hear myself, and now, yeah.
You can also adjust the volume, too.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, we're good. We're good. Now that I know that it's not the problem. So, like, okay, cool. I just didn't want you guys to have like, oh yeah, it's a great show, but we only heard like half of all of Damien's words.
Am I
Hey.
I
turned
thought the
down?
same way.
You know what? You're talking into the mic, so you already know what you're doing.
No? Yeah.
Most
Well, we
of
have
us.
a mic that
Am I
just goes
turned down?
between us,
No.
like one of them Yeti mics.
So,
And-
hello.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so we're
have
kind
one
of
of
spoiled.
I can't hear myself at all. Did you pull me out?
No, I can hear you.
Did you...
You didn't know?
Hey.
You're good?
Oh, I got rebooked for Wairika in June, so if you wanted to
I'm down.
Good.
wing that for me.
Okay.
Dustin is
Yeah.
actually
You
going
good?
to be in
Okay.
town tomorrow. I'm picking him up.
No
We're
shit.
driving to Vegas.
Oh, fantastic. Tell him that I would like you to be on the show with me.
I will tell him.
Sweet.
All right.
So,
Speaking of show, this is the Gag on This podcast, recording live from Blacktop Comedy. BlacktopComedy.com.
For all your comedy needs.
Hey, look at that. Teamwork makes the motherfucking dream work. Check the episode description, all that shit. Guest social media. Like what you hear, leave a review. Hate what you hear, suck a dick, but still leave a review. Find us on a bunch of podcast places. We are everywhere. Everywhere. We are on something called Pod Paradise, which I don't even know what the fuck that is. Damn. But we're there. I lost my place. There we go. Not I want to use. Email us, gagonthispodcast@gmail.com. We got another dick pic, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Nice.
Yeah,
One of my friends?
No, my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not his. At least I don't know.
I'm strongly encouraging all my friends to send you the worst pictures they receive.
Please do.
Damn.
Yeah.
What, you getting like Pokemon shit?
Yes, you gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Before-
I added that.
Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to our old co-host, Jerron, because he is being featured on the new Alanis Morissette music video that is recording tomorrow.
What?
And he's not just an extra. He's a featured extra.
Oh,
Gonna make out with them?
I don't know. I told him he needs to say she was amazing, and you can't say that on television.
Why?
Oh, you know it? Yes, Damien knows it. Thank you.
Why?
So many people don't know that show. It was sort of like the vulgar Mickey Mouse Club of Canada.
You don't remember You Can't Do It on Television on Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Well, they used to throw slime when he said, I don't know.
Yeah, when the egg busts on his head.
Yeah.
And Alanis Morissette was in it?
Yeah.
Okay. You're
Yeah.
just saying that, aren't
Yeah.
you?
No, I don't know.
It's like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
But yeah, he is featured on that, so shout out to him.
Congrats. Good job.
Yes. I'm Big Nick. I'm joined fresh from his pedophile fucking Chuck E. Cheese adventure.
Yeah.
How's the breakfast?
I didn't have the breakfast there. That's fucking gross.
Did you eat there? Did
No,
you
we
eat?
did not.
Oh, okay.
We went to Lazy Dog after.
Oh, Lazy Dog is good.
It's good shit.
By the way, everyone on Twitter loved the emo reference for fucking Mr. Cheese.
Nice.
That is Rob. He is here.
Hello.
Oh, you gotta be Portuguese lover. What's up?
We're not lovers this week.
There's too many
I'm a
P's.
pedophile.
Yeah, I was about to say. I am joined by the Italian stallion, the very luscious Danny D.
Thanks for adding all the words to me.
You're welcome. We have our honorary guest host, special gagger, that is Sharon.
I'm a special gag. I got a
He
thing now.
loves to gag.
Yeah.
We were going to have Sean Weiss, the goalie from Mighty Ducks, but unfortunately he got arrested.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we settled for Damian Harmony.
Damn.
Everybody's third choice.
I think we upgraded. I think we upgraded.
No, just so you know, we didn't try and book the goalie. I mean,
But you still settled. That's fine. That's fine. That's at least 2 of my marriages.
Did you say 2?
Yeah, well, I'm going for the hat trick eventually. I don't see any
man.
reason why not. So.
Yeah, I got
all right,
2
well
down
then,
myself.
are you saying they settled for you, or you settled for them, or a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B?
Let's see. I don't like to speak ill of people who can't defend themselves, so I'll say they settled for me.
Oh,
You're going to hate this
such
episode.
a sweet.
No, I'm just going to raise the profile. Be simply indecent now. It'll be good. It'll be good.
All right, so now this may shock you.
Uh-huh. Why are you putting your fingers in my ass?
Well, it's called the shocker for a reason.
Fair point. It's just odd advertising.
What?
I didn't say stop.
Go deeper.
I'm going to add some like.
Oh my god.
Where's Drawn when you need him?
Yeah, fucking A.
Beats talcum powder. But go on.
So, what exactly is a pun?
Pun is a play on words where you take a word that means one thing and you use it in a context where it doesn't mean that thing, and you draw it into another meaning. So the best example I can always give is I went fishing with my friend Annette last night. Annette, she's good at fishing.
The Capital Pun Show is amazing.
It is
I
amazing.
love going to it. It's just so
I
fucking
hate
quick
puns,
and
but
witty.
I love that show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that a lot. That's half the audience at that show.
Wasn't Ed saying something about like the pain center in your brain is next to what processes puns or something like that?
Yeah, it's. I think it's near the amygdala, so it handles rage, which makes sense. My daughter hates puns, but she also gets them, which is probably why she hates them. She told me recently that just straight out, she says she's 7, by the way. She says, "You're not funny." And I said that's demonstrably untrue because people pay money to see me do these jokes. Her next response was, "I don't believe you."
My kids don't think I'm funny either.
Yeah. And then I told her, I said, well, you can believe me because people actually pay money for this. All of Christmas was paid for the last 2 years with just these jokes. And she looked at me and she's like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yes. And in fact, next Christmas will be paid for by these jokes too. Like, that's how it works." And she just looks at me and she goes, "I can do without the presents."
Oh man.
What?
Yeah. My
daughter's
7-year-old
What?
daughter. Yes.
That is a serious turn.
Oh, what
man.
a little feisty girl. I
Yes,
love
she is.
it.
Goddamn right.
God, could you imagine her and Oli together?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think, yeah,
I can do without the presents.
run the world.
Yeah.
So
So tell me if this is a pun. I was sending him some stuff earlier
boy.
because I don't know what the fuck a pun is,
No,
really.
he doesn't.
So we were talking about Sean Weiss,
okay.
goalie from Mighty Ducks.
Right.
And fuck, what did I say? Oh, I think I was like, is this a pun? The pipe is mightier than the duck? Huh?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, but it's mighty. It's
Right. So you're using the same words, but
But you're not using them
as a
twice.
pun. So
Yeah.
here would be a good example using Sean Weiss. Okay, when he was arrested, I don't know if you know, but he took the police on a chase, and one of the reasons that they stopped him because they realized that they asked themselves, might he duck through here?
Oh, he's so good.
fucking A, man.
Yeah.
Did you
see
just
the difference?
Did you just think of that off the top of your goddamn head?
He
Yeah.
must have.
Yeah.
I
I'm
thought
I
telling
don't
you,
think
the
he actually
smartest
let him
person
on
I know.
I thought he had his hand up. They call it the Mighty V.
It's the flying V.
The flying V.
Man, I'm just gonna attempt at puns all night. Then
I love it. I love it. I don't
more
think you
people should
are.
do
Do them. No. I absolutely love when people do puns. I don't care if they succeed or not. I mean, it's like, I don't know, listening to your children sing. It doesn't have to be good. It's still, it's still wonderful.
I don't think my dad liked me singing. He would always be like, "Who sings that?" And I'd say it, and he'd be like, "Let them sing
Yeah,
it."
keep it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like,
I've heard that.
you.
One.
Yeah,
I've heard
shit.
that before.
No, I love the more people engage and play with a language, the more vibrant that language becomes, the more the more fun it is, and eventually they will get around to a pun. I mean, you start by being awful at something, and then you can get kind of mediocre at it. So you guys are on what, episode 55, 56?
60.
We're in like 62.
Right, so you're getting close to
60.
mediocre. I mean, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So you teach Latin.
I do.
Do
In
you
fact,
pun in Latin?
I'm wearing the most epic T-shirt there is.
It has a sword on it.
Well, it's the entire Aeneid printed out, all 9,500 lines.
Oh, jeez.
What?
It's literally epic.
Aeneid.
Yeah, Aeneid. It's the story of Aeneas and his wanderings.
The
so
smartest person
yeah.
I know.
I mean, I know like the Iliad and shit,
Right,
but
and that's the story of Troy. So Iliad means story of Troy because Ilum is another word for Troy, which means they could have just called it Troy Story and it would have been fine, but they didn't.
Fuck.
And the thing that killed Troy was a horse made of wood. So really, the Troy Story had troubles with woody things. And they could have just looked that gift horse in the mouth, but they didn't. It was like the one time in history you should have. But the Aeneid is essentially Roman fan fiction of the Odyssey. And that's really all it is. Because Odysseus did that, so did Aeneas. Odysseus did that, so did Aeneas. And it's just 12 books of him going on the same repeat tour and like seeing the same places, doing the same women, and then a side trip to Carthage and then up to Italy for 6 books. But this shirt has literally every word from the Aeneid on it. And I say literally because that's also a pun, because it's literature. And I say literally epic because it's an epic poem.
Okay,
So,
well, that
even the
brings me
shirt's a
to
pun.
the original one. Do you make puns in Latin as well?
My daughter did before I did.
No shit.
No shit. So the word for dinner in Latin is cena, C-E-N-A. And I went up to her. She was 4. And I said to her, hey, now she doesn't know what a cannibal is at 4. Now at 7, of course, that's
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
yeah.
girl. Yeah. Because family reunion when you're 5. But I asked her, I said, hey, what did one person who eats people say to another person who eats people when they're eating a clown? And she said, what? I said, does this taste funny to you? And she laughed, and then she came back 3 minutes later, and she says to me, what did one Roman who eats people say to another Roman who eats people? And I said, what? And she said, does this taste like John Cena?
Wow.
And then my son pops in with do 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 do. So John Cena, C-E-N-A,
Yeah.
Cana, his name means John Dinner. So does this taste like? And then she brought in the meme of the John Cena thing on top of that, and so she punned across 2 languages.
Nice.
It was
Your kid's
wonderful.
way smarter than mine.
Ah,
I think his kids are smarter than all of us here.
well, yeah, my son can do long division, so that's
Right?
3/4 of the table.
Yeah.
my head is just fucking spinning with so many goddamn puns right now. Like I'm just like, what the fuck?
And I love
No.
to weave like these intricate, like bloomin' onion style puns that just like there's thing after thing after thing, so that like when you pull the string, there's so many puns that just fall completely out. It's really a lot of fun.
You're constantly thinking, aren't you?
Yeah, I can't stop.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to sleep sometimes.
I
so
wish
it
I
sucks.
could.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, think. Yeah.
Really?
Sometimes.
And then smoke comes out your ears. You're like, I got
know.
nothing.
I know.
So we should probably talk about Capital Pun Ishmint
Yes.
show.
Hell yeah.
Which one person on Twitter, I didn't put the hyphen. So they thought you did like a show on capital punishment. I was like, oh no, it's a pun thing.
Yeah. Well, do you spell it with an O? Because it's Capitol.
Yes.
Okay, because we're in the capital. The name is a pun. And
God damn.
yeah, that wasn't mine. That was my partner's. But it was. Luckily, we did that because there's way too many Facebook groups about capital punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of depressing trying to find us otherwise. So yeah.
Now, when you do your show, do you have just regular people from the audience come up, or
No. So the original show was myself and Daniel Humbarger. He and I were sitting at a bar after a show, and this is shortly after I'd gotten divorced. And he's like, "Hey, do you guys want to come out?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll join you guys. I don't go to bars normally." So I was sitting there with him, and I'm the kind of guy that likes to keep a game going, and he's the guy that wants to win a game. And that combination, when I'm the one who wants to keep it going, means the game will never end. And the result was that for 25 minutes, we punned about clothing.
Oh, jeez.
In front of all the other people who were there with us. It was fun. I just kept going. And then we switched to candy. And after 20 minutes of candy puns, after 25 minutes of clothing puns, the people at the table were not only saying Jesus, but
They were all like Rob right now.
Yeah. But then one of them said, "Well, how come you guys don't make a show like this?" And I turned to him. I said, "Why don't we make a show like this?" And then we started figuring out how we could go about making a show like this. And
You know what my answer would have been?
Why?
Because people aren't as punny as us.
Oh.
You and Daniel are very good.
We are.
And so is like Charlie Spink. But other than that,
Yeah.
Was that a pun?
Sort of.
Punny?
Kind of, yeah. Sort of. So it's pun adjacent.
lost.
It would
It's
count.
great,
It would
though.
totally count. Yeah.
So goddamn lost.
it is pun adjacent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Would a
One
pun
for me.
would a pun be? So you were talking about clothes, so you fed them a yarn.
Yes.
Hey! Gold star for Nick.
There we go.
Gold star.
Oh, wow!
Oh.
I'm gonna say that's probably the best part of this show.
But I mean, it sells out Luna's every time,
Every time,
you have
yes.
it. And
Every time.
last time I was there was a news crew there.
Yeah.
It's really gained a lot of variety. Like
Oh yeah. It's been going for 3.5 years.
Okay.
So we started at a different spot, and the original idea, and a lot of it was his idea. Okay, in terms of how the format would go. So I took care of a lot of the nuts and bolts. I started the opening show investment and stuff like that. But a lot of the format stuff was we would bounce ideas, and his kept being better. I'm like, well, let's do that then. Let's do that then. Let's do that then. And then I was just like, how do we find topics? What topic do we do, etc. And so the original idea was 3 comics and one. I call him civilian. He calls him a special guest. And therefore, that person, the reward for them getting to be on stage, they would also bring their friends to see it. And it was working pretty well, except that comics are a inherently very tightly controlled and insecure lot. I mean, we are a brittle, broken people as a community. It's not an ethnicity; it's a creed. But it's and so not that many people are comfortable. I swear to God, I'm going to get never booked again now that I've said that. But a lot of people are not comfortable going on stage without their own material. Mm-hmm. And we said you can't even show up with notes. And the original start was like nobody even knew what was going to be on the wheel.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was a much harsher show. And then we realized about 4 shows in, we're like, wait, this doesn't have to be a contest. Mm-hmm. This can just look like a contest. And I'm a huge professional wrestling fan. So I was like, let's make it a total work, except for the fact that we don't know how the results are going to be. So it's like Japanese wrestling. It's simulated simulated combat made to look real. That's normal wrestling. Japanese wrestling is the other way. Is real fighting made to look like simulation.
It's intense.
So yeah. Well, sometimes they do it in the dome or in a building or stuff like that.
But you
It's
still
not
don't know
just
what the
outside in a
wheel
tent,
is going to
but-
bring. You know what I mean? Like
She's
when
just
you
like, I'm
spin
done
it.
with the wrestling talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just no more wrestling talk, you
Sorry.
guys.
No,
God damn it, there's too much testosterone.
sorry. I was hoping to rope you in with that. We'll canvass the group and see what they.
Yeah.
It's got a certain ring to it, but so what it is like, yeah, we put a bunch of topics up on the wheel, and we spin the wheel, and everybody shouts along with that, and then it comes up there. And originally it was for 5 minutes, you just go, and now it's best 2 out of 3, and it's whoever gets the fewest amount of strikes in that round. 3 strikes and you're out. If it's a tie, then the audience has to decide. And it's best 2 out of 3, and that person advances. And it's a tournament style, and you're all fighting for the chance to lose to me and Daniel.
Yeah, basically. Have you guys ever lost?
5 times total in 3.5 years.
In 3.5 years. Damn,
3.5 years,
That's
yeah.
a pretty good record.
Yeah, well, and it's gamed for us. Like it's we call it the boss battle, because if you've ever played a video game, the boss battle's fucking hard, and you can't win it on the first life.
Yeah.
And so the boss battle is Daniel and I both come out, and we take you on. It's a topic that you didn't know about. We did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's a boss battle.
The fucking
you know?
fix is in,
Yeah,
man.
you goddamn right.
It's their show,
yeah.
you know.
And so you come out and you come against the two of us, and you have to knock us out, and we just have to outlast you.
Oh.
So you only get 3 strikes, we get 6. And you got to get us to use up all 6. And we've only lost 3 times.
I'm surprised
Or no,
you've
5
even
times.
lost.
Yeah. Well, there were previous, I think the losses led us to rejigger it a little bit.
So you could win.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So,
But like a fucking casino.
I was about to say, you sort of gerrymandered the shit.
Absolutely.
It's not a pun.
No.
I wasn't meaning
Okay.
for it. I was just specifically talking. God damn it. Not everything's a pun. You are not punny.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I've never asked to be on the show.
It's true.
Yeah,
But I
you just
love watching it.
You bombarded yourself. Oh, you were talking about his show.
His
Yeah.
show.
I thought you were talking about this show.
No.
Yeah.
Bombarded.
I'll come
I
all
said
over
it.
this show. This is.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
I was trying to think of a pun, and I'm just not that fucking witty, I
Yeah.
guess.
That's okay.
Why don't you come over here?
Yeah, that actually
Don't give him
doesn't-
that. Don't give him
It kind of
that.
flew over the head. I was like,
Next.
Oh, because it was that intelligent? Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
so
that.
smart, Nick.
So, yeah, I mean, the show used to be a slightly different format, but it's essentially been the same core show this whole time. And we've performed at Throckmorton Theater down in Marin County. We've performed in Benicia. We've performed. We sold out Sketchfest 2 years in a row now.
oh, snap.
Yep. We're over a year and a half of straight sellouts at Luna's, and by sellout I mean like standing room only, like 5 people deep at the bar kind of thing.
Right.
We've performed at Sack Punch once. We're doing it again on March 22nd. I'm going to plug a little. We have a show coming up February 7th, March 6th at Luna's. And yeah, we got some TV coverage just this last November, and that just came out in, I think, January. The buzz is really in. The only people who've beaten us, by the way, I think there was one comic who beat us, but the rest, I think, were special guests.
Was it Charlie Spink?
I don't think he beat us.
Oh.
No, because I don't remember the last person to beat us. It's been that long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like it's in their favor.
No, it's not. No,
No.
it's not supposed to be. But the first person who beat us ended up becoming our business manager.
Oh.
Oh,
She's
you were-
the Emily on the Emily and Mark and Daniel and Damian and the wheel shirt that you see me wearing on TV.
Oh,
So-
Mark Berg?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
our host.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So would you be interested in having his wife on? Because apparently his wife dropping
We've talked
puns.
about this.
Oh yeah, we have. Now, are you talking about for the show or just in general?
Oh,
'Cause,
she
I
would
mean,
totally.
I'm single.
Well,
I mean, if you
He
want
is
to watch,
trying to get
that's
rid of
cool.
her.
No,
That's,
thank you.
Yeah.
no, because when we saw the teacher episode that you had,
Yes.
show, and her hands were just locked onto my thigh, just squeezing. She's like, "Why don't they say this? Why
You
don't
should
they
have
say
moved her
that?"
up. Just kind of move her.
Not with that.
Hell yeah, with that grip.
No, thank you. But yeah, she was like, "Why do they say this?" And I'm like, "Just fucking go up there and do it." But so anyway, I told her, well,
Yeah,
she needs to contact you, and
we're booked out through May.
yeah.
And that's the other thing is we're booked out like that far. Like I'm almost done putting together the June show, so
Nice.
she needs to get
Well,
on.
you need to talk to her and make sure she's not, because it's one of those, because she is really, she makes puns about everything, so I don't doubt that she would
as
be
one
good.
should. Yeah,
But no.
Sometimes it gets a little annoying, though.
Does it?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
not on this side of it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
On this side of it is like, ooh, did I make the perfect thing and drop that in, and suddenly it was like a beautiful color, It's
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Sometimes it could be a little too much.
She gets all excited if I make a pun, and I'm like, fuck, I've been with you too long.
No, dude.
Yeah, that turns her on when you're punning.
Hell yeah, dude.
So you do stand up as well.
I do.
Now, what do you prefer, the show or doing the stand up?
That's like asking, like, which child is my favorite?
My son.
So, yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you're not.
she's good.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Each one brings a very different thing. So stand-up is much more existential in some ways. Like, I'm up there with my material. So the only excuse of failure I have is that I failed. Whereas with the puns, not everyone is going to hit. And there's and that's okay because I've got another one coming and I've got another one coming and it's my show. We run it, so I get to be on stage as long as I feel like I should be.
Yeah.
And Daniel and I just have a wonderful chemistry. So if one of us is having an off night, the other one picks up the slack real quick. It's lovely being a part of that team. And we bring such different personality quirks to it that it really plays off well. So sometimes we can just rely on our chemistry if the puns just aren't coming to one of us. Stand up, my material is either funny or it's not. I either did it well or I bombed it. So both are fantastic in such different ways. The puns, I've kind of likened it to I like baseball a lot. Daniel is Reggie Jackson. He swings hard for the fences and he hits really long balls.
This is a sports analogy, by the way.
Shut up.
So,
I know what baseball is.
a lot of home runs with
Yes.
Reggie Jackson.
Yep.
I'm Will Clark. I'm always getting on base, hitting singles, hitting doubles. On occasion, I'll hit a good home run, but that's not what I'm there for. I'm there to really
Slow
set
and
up.
steady.
Yeah, and not necessarily slow and steady because I have like 4 to go. Here we go. But it's just I keep the rhythm going. I'm the bass player. He's the guitar soloist.
That's a band reference.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't allowed to make that reference.
Yeah. It's a band reference.
Just saying.
It's band.
Fucking hate you, Nick.
It's a band reference. Band.
Yeah.
Like I'm not allowed to make because you banned it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
There goes one. Strike one.
I did say after a while.
yeah. So
Is that how a strike works? Like when it doesn't land? Is that what?
No, it's not. It's not my fault. The audience wasn't smart enough to catch that. So, and like I said, with the personalities that we bring to it, Daniel is just a force of personality. Like if you've met him, he's charming as shit.
He is.
And he will make you smile. He's just this bulldog that doesn't let go as far as being on that show. I was once described as, oh, you know you're smarter than everybody, and that's what pisses them off.
Yeah.
And then you explain it to them why you were smarter than them, and now they're more mad that they're laughing. And I was like, yeah, that's actually probably about right. And so that's the energy that I bring. Doesn't translate well into stand-up all the time. So, but in stand-up, I also I have a couple more rules for myself with stand-up. Like punning is its own set of rules. Like it's very restrictive, and I like working with restrictions because now the art comes out.
Oh.
With stand-up, there's no rules in general, so I make rules for myself because I work better that way. In my stand-up, I never make fun of people, ever. I don't have a single joke that makes fun of anyone, unless it's me. And look what a dipshit I am. Like when I first got divorced, people were like, "Oh my God, you're gonna have so much material." I'm like, "Yeah, but none of it I'm performing on stage." And I remember I just don't, because again, she doesn't have a mic, she doesn't have a venue, so that's not fair. Yeah. I don't make fun of people, and I try to do jokes that make people think in addition to laughing. Sometimes it's just fun, stupid little puns, but even my fun, stupid little puns have turned into things where, like, how can I get you to not realize the obvious course I was taking, and now you've learned a thing? And that's a lot of fun. And again, it will bomb dicks 100 times before I catch it. And then when I catch it, I'm like, okay, that's going in my quiver that I'm going to keep. So I love stand-up. I absolutely love it. It doesn't make me as much money as the Punch Show makes me, which is weird. But I love doing stand-up. I love getting to do stand-up for a long chunk of time. I don't necessarily get to because this scene is so saturated with such talent. And I'm also very restricted in my hours and like when I can go and when I can't because I'm also a dad and I take that very seriously.
Yeah. That's why I don't do comedy. I'm
Yeah.
restricted.
You don't even have kids.
I got a bedtime. I mean,
Oh my God.
I got a bedtime?
Yeah.
Really?
8 p.m.
Wow.
8 p.m. And don't ask him to do shit on a Saturday.
I was working for the radio station.
So hold on. What time you get up then?
I get up at 3:45.
Okay.
He's
That's-
up
there you go.
sometimes
That's
when I
reason.
still haven't even gone
Yeah.
to bed, and I'll like message him. I'm like,
Goddamn.
hey, whatever, and
But-
he's like, you haven't gone
No,
to bed yet.
it's not hey whatever. It's hey fucking drunk talk.
Oh, there's a dick in my face. Gotta go. Bye.
Wait, who said that part though?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's
But
how
yeah,
he used
I-
to wake up.
I absolutely love doing stand-up, and I love having my own point of view out there. Like, I really do. And I love finding the things about me that are funny that I can share with the world, and I love finding the things about us that are compelling that I can make funny that I can share with the world.
Do your students know
So-
you do comedy?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's
Do
why
they
I
think
removed.
you're funny?
Yeah, and again, in the same way that my daughter does, like the begrudging, like, God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm a very entertaining teacher that they fail my class. So, well, you don't do the work. Sorry,
I didn't even know high school taught Latin.
So, yeah. Well, I'm the whole reason that the only public school within 89 miles, and I've measured it, is my high school that teaches Latin. That's
I learned Latin. I mean, American.
Oh, Latin.
No, that's
So
different.
fuck you guys.
Yeah.
That was a great pun.
No,
That's
it
not
wasn't.
a pun.
That was a pun.
That wasn't.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
See, it's good to see you make that face finally.
Yeah. Well, notice I didn't make it a pun though.
I know.
Yeah.
It was a absence of.
Yeah, I'm not Latin that
Because it
go.
was such a great pun.
No.
So is Latin a dead language?
Absolutely.
Really?
Because the culture that spoke it is no longer around. Nobody
Okay.
speaks it natively.
Okay.
I always tell the kids, if you're a native speaker in this class, then you're a sorcerer and you get an automatic. Because I'm not fucking with that. That's that. You got greater magic than I do. So, but yeah, it's absolutely a dead language, which makes it easier to learn because the rules haven't changed in 1,500 years.
Oh. So why are they taking it?
Because it's kind of the cheat code to understanding. The mantra that they have from me is so that they can learn to use and abuse the language. And it's the cheat code for how to understand the language and its complexities in English, but also to understand the uses of rhetoric and things like that. Ultimately, it's the academic version of punning in a lot of ways, which I didn't realize until I just said that out loud. But
You heard it here first, guys.
yeah.
On Gag on This.
But yeah, it really does. It lets you peek behind the veil of how language gets used to pervert meaning. As Orwell said, you can use English to hide the truth. You can use the truth to hide itself. And knowing Latin allows you to do that because you understand a deeper meaning of the meanings of the words, and you can understand the nuances, and you're like, oh, you're using this to kind of attract the word into this meaning so that now you can lie about it even though you've actually told only facts.
So you become a better manipulator.
Yes.
Latin.
Yeah.
I got to work on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
My first language was Portuguese, and that helped me so much with vocabulary.
Oh, I bet.
And, you could understand, like you just said, you understand the history of how this word came to be because, that's because of this.
Oh, yeah.
And whereas English, it's not,
When I was little, I knew Italian.
There you go.
Did you really?
I
It would
didn't
be the
stick
same
with
thing.
it.
Oh, damn.
I know. My grandma's right off the boat, too.
jeez.
And that's all she pretty much speaks. And I just,
Do you still understand when you hear her?
yeah.
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 Or
That
like when
helps.
our family comes to visit, I still understand. But
That's cool. But you also have the vocab of like a 3 or 4 year old.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, yeah, when I went to Portugal, I sounded like a mentally diminished 7-year-old girl, but I could still at least get it because of the
I was
the
going to say, are there
gender.
dialects for genders
Yes.
in Portuguese? Okay.
And because my dad was deaf, so he didn't speak at all.
Oh,
Right.
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I learned to speak from my mom, and like obrigado for a guy, obrigada for a woman. So I would hear obrigada, so I would say obrigada, and
Right.
they'd just laugh at you, and you're like, oh, fuck this language, I don't want to do this to you. So like there'd be times I'd be talking to somebody and doing okay, and then I would say something, and they would just give me a look like, why would you say that?
Right.
And it's like, fuck. And, but it was still way better. I mean, like, if you went to Italy tomorrow, you think you could get by? At least
No.
know if someone was saying something shitty to you?
No, I'd have to go on Tinder, find a guy to translate. I'm just kidding. I'd pull out my phone.
I was going
and
to say,
do
I was like,
Google
you could just do
Translate.
that. 90 Day Fiance does it all the time. So
Haven't seen it.
I've never
did I
seen
seriously just make it fucking awkward?
You
like, it
are
got
such a
quiet as shit.
girl. You are such a girl with your shows. Does Danielle force you to watch these?
90 Day Fiance, yes. Vanderpump Rules, that is all me.
Well, that sounds like you. But
Bad
90
Girls
Day
Club,
Fiance?
oh, I love it. She watches it. Same
That's
with
such a
Young
bitch
and Pregnant
show.
and Teen Mom
Why would she watch that?
because she loves it.
Oh my God, gross.
She likes broken women, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a thing.
Sorry, I'm sporting a Woody over here.
At least no one can see it.
That's because it's quite tiny. So one thing I want to talk about, or maybe you want to talk, maybe you. Somebody else going to make a pun? Huh?
Nope.
Pun?
No one else is going to make fun of your dick.
Really?
All right.
It's beautiful.
Moving on. Man, I really got nothing. I'm sitting here like, I can make a pun. No, I fucking can't. Wait, this could do. Nope, not
That's
at
a
all.
talent.
How long have you been doing comedy?
Let's see, October of 2013.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you get divorced?
Let's see, the divorce
November of
finalized.
2013.
The divorce finalized in April of 2017, but she left the house March of 2016.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
I find it's really hard to do comedy and be in like a relationship with someone that doesn't do comedy.
Yeah.
Or have a passion.
Yeah, I think to analyze the failing marriage that I had.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think that it certainly laid bare things that had gotten papered over. So things that I thought were, this is a crack in the thing. We can putty this in and we can keep going. Turned out it was a fault line that went way further back.
Oh.
And so there were several of those that, like, obviously when you look back and you're like, oh, that was a lot more significant, a lot further back. But, when you're in it, you're like, no, this is normal and we can make this work. Oh, this is just an idiosyncrasy, etc. And I think the comedy added an extra pressure because now I had a world that was fulfilling and my own. And so I didn't need to invest as much in making sure that this other thing that might not have been healthy on these levels was working as best as it was before. So I think in some ways I got less codependent ultimately, and I'm gonna own that on me. Again, I'm here to defend myself, so I'll just take on my own stuff.
Boom.
But I do think that comedy might have accelerated something that might have been coming anyway. So, which I had no idea was coming. So,
all right.
Now
Damn it! I had a fucking pun.
I'm just looking at you waiting because I'm like,
This
bitch.
is going to be the quietest episode because you're just sitting over there thinking, trying to come up with some fucking puns.
Well, he was talking about a fault line. I was going to be like, so whose fault was it?
That works.
Hey, I got it.
He's going to hit you up now and be like, is this a pun?
Yeah. Oh,
Is
yeah.
this a pun?
I probably will.
March 7th, we're going to go to his show at Luna's. You're going out with us.
March 6th. February
March
7th.
6th.
Yeah, February 7th. Get your shit
Very
straight.
fucking bad. February 7th, we're going to go to a show.
Hell yeah.
Okay?
$10 at the door.
Isn't that this week?
It's a date.
It's
worth it.
next Friday.
Yeah, you ain't doing shit.
You said,
Yeah, no, I'm getting laid
on the
off.
7th.
There we
I'm
go.
getting laid
We're
off.
gonna go
I'll have
celebrate.
nothing.
I'll take you and Danielle out to dinner.
You won't
We'll
even have
dine
a
and dash.
bedtime.
I know. I still have to wake up at 3:45 that day, though. I got to sign a release to get my severance.
Well, instead of
February
whacking
7th?
off
February
for the hour,
7th.
just take a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could.
What's going on?
He has a special time that he uses to jack off sometimes, and instead of doing that, he could just take a nap.
Every Wednesday before this podcast.
Thank you for sharing that.
I just want you guys
Is it
to know.
every Wednesday?
So glad we shook hands.
I wash. Don't worry.
That's fair.
Unless it gets in my hair, then I just wait till the next morning.
Well, yeah.
What is wrong with you guys?
Anyways, so let's talk about your podcast, sir.
Sure.
You have a podcast?
Yeah, well, I'm a white guy with a beard. Yes. It's in the starter kit.
Yeah.
Look around the table.
David, do you have a...
I got him aboard.
He has moonshine and rice wine.
That's right. That's right.
I love that.
Fuck, I came up with that and I can't even remember it.
Oh my God, you could take people to drinking establishments who are like minor celebrities and call it Stars and Bars.
Dude.
That'd be awesome.
That's a good one.
And just like always hammer on how shitty the Confederacy was at the same time. So like people will tune in and they'll be like, "Yeah, that's right, our boys." It's like, what? Robert E. Lee was a pussy. Like, thank you, so fantastic.
You'll die
Thank
in
you
some
for
country.
watching. This is what happens when cousins fuck.
Yeah, I told David the other night, I was like, just pretend I'm your cousin. He's like, I'm from the South, Danny. And I'm like, pretend I'm your sister. Don't fucking...
And he was like, I'm from the
He
South,
said the
Danny.
same thing.
I'm from
And I was
that
like,
deep
God
down."
damn it. God damn it.
Why go down the street when you can go down the hall? You know?
You know, that normally just takes him off the list for me. But
You know, it's like my Uncle Daddy always taught me.
Your
Never
Uncle
marry
Daddy?
a virgin. Because if she ain't good enough for her own family, she ain't good enough for you or me.
oh my God, you're the best.
You know, I lived in Florida for a bit, so I had a lot of material to fuck with. So the further north in Florida you get, the further south Alabama becomes.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I went to the Floribama line in May, and
Oh lordy, you know.
I had a great fucking time.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Oh, yeah,
giving
yeah.
you tags on your great fucking time.
yeah.
Wow, she's still I'm like,
Uh huh.
You have a good memory.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, Florida's taint is where we lived. So.
Oh.
Well, I got in trouble when I was like 10 with my grandma because she said, and she's from Michigan, so she had that tight lip when she got angry, like Betsy DeVos gets.
Yeah.
Like you can tell Betsy DeVos is from Michigan because if you challenge her on anything, the wrinkles come in on her top lip only, and it gets just a little stiffer. Like watch her talk to people of color. And it's true.
He's not wrong.
But it's not their fault she's talking to them. Like my grandma, she said, and so she had like the Midwestern like white woman lisp, and she said, when God made the earth and he set his hand down, that's what made Michigan.
Wow.
And without missing a beat at 10 years old, I said, then why is Florida? She got that tight Betsy DeVos lip going on. Because if you've ever seen a map, Florida looks like a dick. It's a visual joke, I guess. But yeah. But yes, I do have a podcast. It's called A Geek History of Time. And it's essentially myself and my buddy Ed Blaylock. I never do anything on my own except raising my children. And even that's with a partner just remotely, but because we do try to co-parent. But my partner Ed Blaylock and our producer George,
You have a producer?
we do. We
He's
do.
high class,
Damn.
man.
Yeah. I mean, we all get paid the same.
Us too.
Yeah.
My kids thought I made money on this. They were like,
Oh,
"Oh yeah, how much do you
can't
make each
wait.
podcast?" I was
Yeah.
like,
No.
no, I
For the
do
love of
this
the
for
game.
free."
Right.
They're like, "You should do better things with your time."
You guys are a lot better off. I pay for this shit.
Well,
Well, we split the fee on like the hosting and then the the things like that, which is coming up in March. But what do you call it? Yeah, it's called The Geek History of Time, and it's essentially we're two nerds, but our nerdery doesn't overlap that much, and we're roughly the same age, but we're also both historians and teachers and dads, so we have a lot of on paper commonalities that end up taking us in very different directions. He teaches middle school, I teach high school. He really focused on like medieval and Japanese history. I focused on like women's suffrage in the 20th century, and a few other things as well. But like that's where I really made my bones. And then I also teach Latin, and so there's enough passing knowledge that we both have about each other's subjects that we're good. And then the same thing about our nerdery. So, for instance, I love professional wrestling. He doesn't know about professional wrestling.
It's a shame.
It is. He loves BattleTech. I don't know that much about BattleTech.
What is BattleTech?
Giant robot
Robots.
tanks.
Yes.
Walking around.
Sharon knows.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Their trip.
But like he knows.
BattleTech.
So like he knows a lot about. What are some of the things that he knows a lot about? He knows a lot about miniatures games. I know next to nothing about those.
Miniature games?
Yeah. So like Warhammer 40K. Robin
what?
Williams used to play it, actually. It's kind of cool. But essentially, he looked at the history of it and where it was as a satire and all this kind of stuff. And what we do is we do a deep dive on that nerdery, but also the world in which it was developed. So, for instance, his analysis of BattleTech is really he's taking a look at the American reaction to what was then dubbed the Yellow Peril in the 1980s, which was the late 80s, early 90s. A whole bunch of people got scared that Japan's economy was going to overtake the United States economy. And so he looked at BattleTech as an analysis of that, and it grew up in that fear, and that was the water in which it swam. I looked at professional wrestling, for instance, as a look at really lost cause historiography. So everything that we know about the South and the culture of, how the Civil War was fought and stuff like that is because a bunch of historians decided to start lying and jerking each other off like in the 1870s. And we've all just kind of taken it as fact since then. So if you look at movies like Gone with the Wind and shit like that, that's lost cause. Like, well, it was a valiant struggle to own people. And I'm like, no, it wasn't.
A valiant
You're the worst.
struggle?
Yeah, like, and that's their thing. Is like, well, it was a lost cause. We shouldn't have been fighting for it, but we fought with honor. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And so I look at how the territory system of wrestling got set up in the early 20th century, all the way through the late 1980s. As it reflected the lost cause, or I look at like the Fantastic Four and how it's really just a grotesque depiction of the nuclear family in the 1960s when we're all afraid of getting blown up. And he looks at Dungeons and Dragons first edition and how it really is frontierism under Frederick Jackson Turner's thesis from the 1890s.
So let me ask you. Let me just ask you one thing before we move on. So what does the rock guy have to do with the nuclear family?
Oh,
the thing?
Yeah.
All right. So here's
Ben
the thing.
Grimm.
Yes.
It's a comic book reference.
I know. Thank you.
But here's the thing: is a pun on his name.
Okay, so before we go, because I know some people are like, I got lost.
On the Fantastic Four?
No, just with all the other stuff. What I said, because I've listened to I think the only series I haven't listened to is the BattleTech one you were talking about.
Yeah.
It's a 3-parter, right?
Yeah, that's, I think
He's
it's at
in
least
love
a
with you,
two-parter.
Damian.
That's
He's
wonderful.
absolutely in love with you.
As he should be. I'm brilliant and hilarious.
I'm sorry. I'm just
the
going to
thing
put it out
is-
there.
Yeah, and you know I'm sexy. So, I mean, it
do.
all...
And he's told me in
Yeah.
confidence he would prefer you over Mike any day of the week. So
I would too.
Mike is a lot cuter, though.
No.
He is so much cuter.
Have you heard his voice?
I've seen him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That man is
they've met.
gorgeous.
He's
I
muscular.
thought he was in his 30s.
See, that's
Yeah.
why
I think he thinks he's
He
in
gets-
his 30s.
He probably, yeah.
he gets 20-year-olds hitting on him. I
Yeah.
get people asking me how old my grandson is.
Right.
So, but anyway, with your episodes, it's like I look at the list, because you were on my show for
Yes.
an episode about autism and the spectrum.
Right.
I was like,
The more cheerful of the two episodes.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yes.
But then I was like, okay, I got to see what this guy's all about. And I look at the list. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of this except for the wrestling one.
Yeah.
And then, but the show has a knack of hooking you in. It's like, I don't give a fuck about this, but I want to learn about this thing. So it's really pretty cool. Like, I don't give a fuck about comic books. Compelling shit.
How do you not give a fuck about comic books?
Okay.
Well, you know how you do? He doesn't do that part.
There you go.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way I approach it is that, like, I heard Parker Newman. I was going to say Parker Lewis, but that's a 1990s TV show. But I heard Parker Newman say this recently at a mic. He said, there's a lot of tea in the world, and apparently I'm not your cup tonight.
Nice.
And I love that approach. I was
Nice.
like, God damn, boy, that was almost as good as your joke about the Nazis losing to the winter. Which is still such a good joke of his. I stand hard for comics in the area. I really do, because there's
He
just
stands
such good-
hard.
I stand hard. Yeah. But
the wheels are fucking moving, but nothing's coming out, man.
I've never heard Nick be so quiet. You're so quiet.
He's so like, I want to impress him.
I just want to understand what the fuck a pun is, guys. That's all.
So, that's how kind of I approach the show. Is like I tell people, they're like, "Oh, which one should I listen to?" I'm like, "What are your interests?"
Yeah.
And because it is such a buffet, because I do think you're right. I do think that the power of my interaction with Ed and Ed's interaction with me, because my favorite episodes are the ones where he's teaching me, not because I'm learning cool shit, but because I get to straight man for him, and I love straight manning. And by straight manning, I mean I throw in little puns here and there that just piss him off. So I'm actually not straight manning, but like I'm sidekicking for him. And I absolutely love sidekicking for him, and because he'll just stop and be like, God damn it. God damn it. And the way we interact is just, it's been told to me by several people, is like it's very endearing and it's very fun, and so it makes it much more accessible. So even if it's not your cup of tea, you're going to end up enjoying our banter, and then you'll find something in that list of geek shit that you do like, and then hopefully that gets people listening more and more. So that's kind of been our approach.
Nice.
All right, well, we should probably move on to Inside the Comic Studio.
Brilliant.
Have you listened to any of the podcasts?
Yes.
Oh, and you decided to come on still? Cool.
Well, I was already on the way.
Yeah.
He was trying to make a break for it. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey.
Poor guy.
All righty.
It was so dark in your car, and you're so tall, and I was getting out of my van and had to pee really bad. That I saw a smile at me. I was like, okay, cool. I had no idea who was smiling at me. And I just realized saying that out loud that it made it sound like you blended it with your car. It's not what I meant.
He had to pee so bad. That's all he was focusing on.
I had to pee so bad I became a racist.
I was going to say, where the fuck are you going, Damian?
Not in a place that I'm proud of. Shit. I've got some therapy to do, apparently. No, but like I saw a face that I didn't recognize right away because my mind was on my bladder. And I had my bladder on my mind.
Nice.
So I didn't recognize it was you, and then I walk in and I see you, and I'm like, that was him. All right. Because I don't think I've seen you in person since
just the lemons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they came over for the lemons and stuff.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, that's right. It was the lemons, and then prior to that, I think I saw you at a Japanese restaurant once, and then on a show that we did where we told stories.
Yes.
Which was still one of my favorite shows.
So,
yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
By the way, out of my corner of my eye, you look like a defeated MMA fighter. Oh, shit. Like you got your hood hella over your head and you're just looking down. You're just like, oh.
Tank Abbott, the Saturn years.
I love wrestling. All right, so
yeah.
I don't know if you got to it in the episode since it was on the way here, but we ask all comics the same 5 questions.
I love it.
So, first joke that landed well.
Do you want it told, or do you want me to just describe it?
You could do either or, whatever you feel comfortable.
I told a joke about conjugating a verb in Latin. And about how that
landed well.
Yes. Okay. Compared to the others. No. Actually, my first time on stage doing comedy, I got good laughs all the way through. Didn't bomb at all until at least a week later. But yeah, it was about conjugating a verb in Latin, and every once in a while I'll still break it out. It used to be a closer for me for a while, but it was essentially that I really envy the people who are on the side of the road with a sign that says "We'll work for food," because at least they can work for food. Like if layoffs happen, what am I going to say? I'm going to conjugate your verb for food, like that. And then I realized, oh no, what I could do is get a sandwich board and just say "does work for food," "was working for food," "will work for food," "did work for food," "had worked for food," "will have worked for food," and then I just go through all of the tenses and the voices and the moods of a verb, because there's 132 forms of a verb. Oh, Jesus. We take them for granted because we just use them, but there's at least that many in English as well. And so I just hit with the "I will do it," the first person singular of it, and I go for, and it becomes a joke of, oh, okay, that's kind of stupid. Like, holy shit, how long is he going? Oh my God, he's still going. Oh my God, he just got to infinitives. Like, we don't even know what infinitives are. Holy shit, he's in the passive voice now. So it's a lot of, and so it's just this, but it requires going long on it, So that was probably the first one that I really was like, all right, this is going to be something that will make people laugh reliably.
Nice. Favorite thing about the local comedy scene?
How often I get booked? No, because I don't get booked that often. Honestly, comedy used to the way that I noticed it. It seems like comedy is a lot like high school, and not in the bad way. In that you come in with a class and you stay with those people on some level. Now, a lot of them will move on because I'm older than a lot of the comics that I came in with, right? But what I noticed was the class that came before me was insanely talented and really going after it. The class that came in after me was much more cloistered, and really clever, and kind of trying to figure out how to go about getting at the same success. But the problem was you had such incredible heavy hitters that weren't moving on yet, that we were kind of stunted on some levels. And so a lot of folks moved, and I just never quite fit in because I wasn't 23. And then the class that came in, kind of, I had a bit of a hiatus to try to save my marriage. And here I am. And but when I came back, the class that came in after me were the nicest goddamn people I had ever met to each other. And they
Is
were
that my class?
Yes, it is. It's the folks that you're contemporary with, and they're just so supportive of each other. And I was like, that's what I wanted. So I would say that, and that decency has infected a lot of folks. So even if people are off doing their own thing, now there's a lot more room for people to just be off doing their own thing. There's still beefs that happen in the community and stuff like that, but there is just this undercurrent of people being kind. And I really like the kindness aspect. And there's still some incredibly talented people interacting at all levels, too. So it's really fun just to sit back and watch people being nice to each other. So that's probably.
All right, that was good. Yeah, good plug. Now, what do you hate or dislike about the local scene?
How often I don't get booked? No. Let's see. What don't I like? You know what I don't like? I don't like when people say that because they've done it a certain way that has to be universal. I think the wonderful thing about comedy, Mike O'Connell said this years ago, and for those of you that don't know, Mike O'Connell was a comic who was in a wheelchair, and he was a really, really nice guy and a really, really funny guy. He produced several shows, including Stand Up Nerdity, which I was on with him. We would work conventions. And he produced The Mikes, which was 5 guys named Mike. But it was successful. But everybody loved him and came together to love him. And he died a few years back, about 2016. But what I've noticed is one of the things he said that always stuck with me. He said, comedy is the one thing where if you've done it, you can say that you're that thing. Like, you can't say you're a teacher unless you've gone through the classes.
Right.
You can say you're a comic if you've been on stage and done comedy. You can say you're a professional comic if you've gotten paid. I'm okay with that because it encourages people to continue engaging with the art. I don't like gatekeeping. And I understand gatekeeping in terms of, like, no, we want talented people on these fucking shows.
Right.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with you got to get past, and whatever room has their culture of that room, like, this is how you get past. As ridiculous as it might sound to me, I'm cool with it. Like, that, okay, that's established, that's a thing. That's, if you want to go and swim in that pool, you have to pass that test. I don't like when people gatekeep and say, well, you're not a real comic if you took a class, or you're not a real comic if you didn't take a class, or you're not a real comic if you only do these kinds of rooms, or you're not a real comic if you don't do the, and that kind of thing. At the same time, there's so much room out there. It's funny too, because, like, we're all fighting for minutes. We're all absolutely fighting for minutes. So I understand the wanting to gatekeep to keep people out, but I found that, talent rises to the top.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows why I don't get booked all the time. But so what I don't like is people doing artificial gatekeeping. There's enough of that talent will take care of. And there are people that, like, get in over their heads. That's okay. I really do. I mean, how do you know you're going to be good enough if you don't fail? The upside to it, of course, back to what I like about it, I guess, is that you get to fail in this community and keep going. But what I don't like is when people try to gatekeep. There's no reason for gatekeeping. Not nowadays.
All right, favorite local comedian?
In terms of as a person or as a comic? Just
as a comic,
as
probably.
a comic? Okay. As a comic, well, the answer is actually probably pretty close both ways. Johnny and Keith are two very good people, but they're also two really funny comics.
We had the two of them on. It was great. It was wonderful.
Yeah, they're joined at the hip half the time. But they're comics with whom I hang out socially more than I hang out professionally. And
you guys are all like the same age.
They're older.
Oh,
I like to point that out to the both. They're older, and I have benefits.
You have one less marriage than Johnny, so I mean, you guys have that.
That's true. That's true.
You can't help but notice that little
I didn't know if
tinge
it was a
of
race.
fuck you. They're older.
Yeah, damn right.
By like 6 months.
Yeah, but no, I just turned 42.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. But no, the both of them, for very different reasons, by the way. Keith is the kind of comic that I love because he tickles the conscience. And he's a wonderful, wonderful comic that way. He's also a very good friend of mine. Johnny is the kind of comic who draws you in through his vulnerabilities. And they both tell wonderful stories. And I love that kind of comedy that Johnny does too. And he's also a really, really good friend of mine now. So those two probably locally are probably my two favorites.
All right. And then finally, advice to new comedians.
Literally don't quit your day job. Not because you're not good at comedy, but because you really do want a reliable source of income. I'm not a big believer of being hungry is what drives innovation. I think actually feeling secure can drive innovation. But being secure means, you might have to deal with your own shit. So I guess don't give up the day job just yet. And frankly, if you can find a way to do this, if you think about the most successful comedians, the most successful ones, okay, they've got 40-year careers. But the ones who are hitting really big are, they're hit really big for like 4 or 5 years. It's kind of like you love wrestling too, okay? There's only one Lou Thez. There's only one Greg Gagne. Well, Vern Gagne. Let's be real. And Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Nice.
He was the hottest, but he was the hottest for only 3 or 4 years. And The Rock was hot for even fewer years. Bret Hart had a much longer career.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, there you go. Hulk Hogan was hot for a really long time. There you go.
That was a wrestling reference.
Nice comeback. Nice comeback.
And also the kind of house that Bruce Banner stays in when he's living with Native Americans in the Northeast. It's a Hulk Hogan.
Man, do you ever get tired of talking to dumb people like me? Like, you are so, I was telling them, I said, he is the smartest person I think I know. I mean, you are so smart.
I appreciate that.
I would like to have sex with you, so maybe I could get smarter. I think maybe that would increase my IQ.
Thank you for coming to my in-seminar.
Just put it out there.
No, I appreciate you putting out.
We can have it scientifically proved, because your kids sound smart as fuck. They're doing fractions
I don't
and
have
everything.
sex with them, though.
No, I know that. But they come from your seed, so
That's
maybe
true.
if I
That
can
is
get
true.
your seed, I can.
That's fair. You can get the next generation going.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it awkward. I love
I appreciate that.
awkward,
That's
yeah.
gross.
You're the one that brought your kids into it.
No, you literally mentioned my children. Don't do that.
I was mentioning your seed.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
okay, so this is going to sound really condescending, and I don't mean it to. I number one, I appreciate what you've said. That's very kind. To answer your question, I never get tired with hanging out with what you call people who are dumber than me. I don't actually think that that's true. I think that I have a skill set that I play to really well, and it's more socially acceptable for me to play to that skill set as an older white male than it is for other people to play toward their skill sets necessarily. Like, if I'm sitting there talking with, I don't know, LeBron James, I'm not going to be in a situation where his skill set, basketball, is really going to be relevant. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not going onto his court and then asking to play with him.
Okay.
And so it could just be that, my insecurities help mask all the shit that I'm bad at, so that all you ever see is the stuff that I'm mildly good at. But so no, I don't ever get tired of hanging out with people who are, as you said, dumber than me, because they bring so much more to the table than just the thing that I'm good at. And I like to try to appreciate all of that. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody's thing is my taste. So there's some people that I'm like, I'm not going to fuck around with, but but nobody at this table, so you're fine. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of things that I learn from people. Like I said, Parker's line was just fantastic. I don't think that socially that he's going to want to hang out with me, because he's half my age. There's that kind of thing. So, yes, we can hang out.
All right.
So, but back to your question. I've forgotten it now because I just got distracted by the fact that you wanted to fuck me.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I like being distracted that way. It's uncomfortable.
I just like how you were just like, dumb people, as you said. And then you just kept on and you're like, dumb people, as you said.
I feel like if I was that smart, just talking to some people, even I'm not even super smart now, but like talking to some of these 20-year-olds, I'm just like, do you not fucking understand? Like, I would.
And they
that's
don't.
probably how you feel all the time, probably.
Yeah, but I also, for a living,
you teach high school.
I teach high
Never
schoolers.
mind.
Yeah,
So,
so I've got a
You
skill
deal
set
with
to
fucking-
deal with emotionally stunted people
Yeah.
who are in good faith trying to figure it out. As long as you're in good faith trying to figure it out, man, you're gonna. I don't care when you do, but you'll figure it out eventually. My favorite students are the ones who are average in so many ways, but they have a kindness to them. They're the ones I don't have to worry about. I don't care how dumb or smart they are. I don't care how good or bad at school they are. And those are not the same thing. I care that they have a good heart. And so my daughter's insanely smart. I work on her heart. My son has an amazing heart, so I work on his brain. It's nice. That kind of thing. And it's not like his brain's a problem. It's just he's on the spectrum. So I have to help him unlock things. Not literally. He knows how to work a fucking lock. But like that kind of stuff. So back to the advice that I would give to a comic is, find a level of security for yourself. And as silly as this sounds, because it's comedy, so we are looking for approval from an audience. Don't seek that approval from other people, though. Like, you're pursuing an art, whatever it may be. If you want to craft it. And I know there's some comics that have a problem with the idea of crafting, but fuck it. You're honing a skill. That's fantastic. But like, absolutely, don't forget that like you're a person who has needs for security and those kinds of things, and tend to those. The art will come.
Needs for security, little Maslow's hierarchy of needs there.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Boom.
I am not one of those, as you call them, dumb.
What do you?
He's just been sitting here the whole time thinking about what he was going to say.
What advice do you have for a dad with a kid with a black heart and not good at school?
Love.
Oh wow. Yeah. Love them even more. Hug the shit out. Well, don't hug them. Teach them why you say no to things, so that they respect other people's no's. Because at some point there's some damage control going on there.
Yeah.
And you just want them not to be shitty and victimize other people.
Yeah.
And then you can work your way back from that.
Take him to a shitty situation and be like, aren't you thankful for what we have, child?
Oh.
Fucking get out.
And you can hear more of that on the next Stand Up Dads podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about dad shit then. Jesus.
Nice.
Oh, that'd be cool having us on there.
I've asked to be on there. I said, you guys should have a mom.
You
can.
Yeah, he'll have you over.
We can do that.
Just don't boink Mike.
Will your wife cook?
Don't.
Oh, that's right. You're too old.
You're too
though.
old for Mike.
Yeah.
I'm 37.
Oh,
That's 17 years too old.
Yeah.
Dude, keep him away from your daughter.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Oh, that's so dead on. It's gross. All right. So
I wish I was kidding.
So you said you wanted to do the open mic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I got to go talk to some people. And
Oh,
get
it's only
you on there.
6:38. I thought it was
Yeah.
longer than
Appreciate
that. All right. So what we'll do is plug your stuff first.
Sure.
And then do you guys want to do the first thing of the Deadpool so he can get out of here, and then we'll take a break?
I got one thing before we start the Deadpool.
Uh-oh.
So basically, you're saying about the shitty dad or shitty parent thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is what. So if me and Auntie Vice found this meme online. It was basically saying, feeling like a bad parent. A Kurog throws his babies at predators. A Kurog.
What's a Kurok?
I'll tell you. In a second. Throws his babies at predators so they can escape.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Kurog.
Oh, my God, that's so cute.
I saw that, but you know what's funny is don't they live on an island where there are no natural
They're
predators?
marsupials.
Yeah.
There are marsupials.
So there's no there are a few natural predators like dingoes and such.
From what I read, that's why they come up to humans, is because they're not used to any type of predator whatsoever.
Oh, my God, those were so cute. I want
They're
one.
adorable.
They are.
I was just thinking in my head, it's like, and then I was thinking like, these things pick their kids out of their pouches, and if they feel threatened, they just here you go.
If you scare the shit out of it, it'll throw it to you. Here, you raise it.
There's good reason for that, though. I bet you that their gestation rate is short, and I bet you that their fertility is high.
Yeah, they probably
Like
have a lot of
rodents.
babies.
So
they
yeah,
don't care.
like marsupials, like you said, opossums do the same thing. Because they got 13 of them crawling on themselves. So they're like, yeah, go, because I'll make more next week. Like, it's fine. Like, it's like the Russian military during World War II. It's like, oh, yeah. Kill 3 million. We got 6 more. Let's go. Half of them have boots. It'll be good. This is
worked
fine.
for Grant.
Yeah.
See, I just saw that and I was thinking like, we were just having a chuckle, but I didn't. Looking at that, like the way you're saying, it's like I'm thinking, that's true.
I know some people that would throw their kids to other.
Now, there's a fun connection that I have to you via Auntie Vice, and you guys can edit this out if you need to. She is the godparent to the child of my son's speech pathologist.
How the fuck did that become uncovered?
Yeah, because she showed up to a show once. No, yeah, because she was on a show, and it might have been when I first met her. and my son's speech pathologist and his husband showed up. And I was like,
okay.
oh my God,
I know you're talking
guys.
about.
And I was like, what are you guys doing here? And it was right after my wife had left, too. So they got to hear about all of it because I couldn't stop thinking about it and perseverating. But I've grown. But yeah, and they're like, well, yeah, we were here to see her. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay, cool. I just thought this was a random happenstance. But yeah, so it's this weird little
circle of life.
Around, yeah.
The circle of life.
Now, were you offended that they knew you were a comic and they weren't there to see you?
Nah, I get it. I'm not that funny. So
they're
I'm niche.
These two, things you just like okay, let that thing go by. They don't care.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So do you have any upcoming shows?
Yeah. Let's see. February 7th is Capital Punishment.
At Luna's.
At Luna's. $10 at the door. You can buy tickets online on Facebook. If you go to Capital Punishment on Facebook, you can find it through there. You can buy tickets online.
Capitol with an O.
Yes. And then, let's see. Then March 6th, we have another show, also at Luna's. March 22nd, we have Capital Punishment at Punchline. And then there will be a show in April and May and June as well. So those are all the Capital Punishment shows. I think that's it as far as what I've got going on as far as shows.
Social media?
Social media, I'm at Harmony, D-U-H, and then Harmony. So 2 H's in the middle. Duh is my initials. So it's a really fun way to sign off at work because you can see which administrators don't know anything.
Your middle name starts with a U?
Yeah.
What the hell's your middle name?
Ulysses.
Nice.
Is it really?
What else
No,
could it be?
but I tell people that. So I can write duh.
I would have believed it.
Yeah, well, because it seems epic. So
It doesn't really
it
start
does.
with a U.
No.
Oh,
I don't have
okay.
a middle. But being the designated hitter doesn't really do much on an email. So duh, on the other hand, has weeded out all kinds of people. So as far as the world knows, it's duh. It's like U.S. Grant's name being Ulysses S. Grant.
Okay.
Oh, shit, there's a Ulysses connection there. Because his real name was Hiram Grant.
No, no one cares.
Yeah, and who's going to follow Hug? So,
No one's going to follow a Hiram.
yeah, exactly. Hiram. Except for Mormons. So at Duh Harmony on the Twitter, and Duh Harmony on the Instagram. And then I think it's Argyle Jedi still on all the gaming platforms as well as Facebook.
Are you throwing out your Xbox gaming platform?
No.
People want to tell me they fucked my mom while playing Call of Duty. They get to, you know.
He's a Star Wars craze.
Yes.
He loves Star Wars.
It sounds like he likes Harry Potter too. He likes everything.
No, but I'm saying you should hear a Star Wars comedy. It was ridiculous. It was the story and everything. It was ridiculous.
I have 45 minutes on how the Jedi had it coming.
Oh my God.
I was going to ask you about that, about the Rise of Skywalker. How'd you feel about it?
Hey, we're going to take a break. I need to
I
cigarette.
know, but you letting him go.
Let the intense build.
Wow.
Sorry.
We've had a moment.
I'm so over Star Wars talk.
You're just cock blocking it all, aren't you?
I am. He's mine. I've already claimed it. He's mine.
Do you want to keep going?
No.
Oh, because you were doing such a good job.
Nope.
Seriously.
No.
Fucking A. Sharon, what do you have to plug? I think they really prefer to hear you say that.
What would you like to plug, Sharon?
Oh, yeah. I like that better, too.
Let's see. Coming up, I am hosting my show over at Sacramento Poetry on the 3rd. That's a poetry show, so there's different comedy, whatever. I'm also doing Queer Space on the 7th. I'm doing it with Xavier Becancourt. I'm doing this. I am doing the work of the DJing and also music and lighting at that show, and also Big Out Sacramento on the 4th. That's Wednesday.
I don't think you said that into the mic.
I did that on. I had a thought there. On the 4th, on a Wednesday, over at Cafe Colonial. If you want to go see some open mics and some crazy people doing some things, I will be there engineering. Come to our show. Boom.
I like it.
Rob, what
Don't
would
you
you
have
like
a
to plug?
podcast as well?
Oh, I have a podcast. And you know what?
So do I.
I just now got it
Came in
on
the starter kit.
What? Hey, all right, I just got on Apple. So I'm on Apple now. I'm on Spotify. I'm waiting for Google Play. I got on Google Play, but I didn't get a Google Podcast. Sucks.
What's the name of your podcast?
My podcast, for all those people, since she asked, My podcast is named Iambic Podcast. IAMBIC. Iambic. And we already put out my 6th episode today.
Wow. Catching up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sharon. Rob.
Well, hold on. Would you like to plug your podcast real quick?
Oh, I
since
would
you
love
mentioned
to.
it?
Plug the podcast.
Hell yeah. Since we're plugging podcast, A Geek History of Time. It's on Stitcher. It's on Spotify. It's on the Apple, the iTunes podcast. And just grab an episode that kind of grabs you, and then you just keep on going. Please rate, subscribe, review, all that kind of stuff. Give us the 5 stars if you think we earned it, and you know we did. So it's a wonderful podcast. It's a lot of fun, and we just put I think 6 more episodes to bed last Friday.
Nice. Holy shit.
So we had recorded several of them in part, and then we finished them off.
Got it.
You do like a serial, just like get a batch and then just chuck them on there.
Yeah. Well, we will. We put them out 1 week at a time.
Okay.
We at one point had like over 20 in the can, but we're both dads, so shit gets in the way. But yeah, and if you can think of any sponsors that you want to kick our way after having listened, that'd be
Bag of
fantastic.
Dicks.
Bag of Dicks is our sponsor.
You know what? That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
You're gonna...
Rob, what do you have to plug? And my patience is wearing thin.
I see that.
That gives it a different edge, and it's not a bad edge.
Oh,
Hurry up, plug it.
Hurry up and plug it.
Get my side project, Stand Up Dad's podcast. I do that with my buddy Mike, and if you like Damian, he's on 2 episodes. One of them just a couple weeks ago, and
right.
one back in October.
Which a friend of mine told me flat out. They're like, I had to stop listening.
Why?
Because it was so sad.
Oh,
And I was like,
usually they're funny.
Keep going.
There's dick jokes.
It's a little less sad at the end.
Yeah. It cheers up.
Yeah.
But
Barely.
yeah. So Stand Up Dads, find that wherever you get your podcasts. They drop new episodes. We drop new episodes every Sunday.
All right, thanks. I guess I'll just plug myself. You can find me at Rad Chick Forever.
We're all
on
watching.
Instagram, Facebook. I am on the show in Vegas on the 1st, but no one's going to go from SAC to Vegas except for us. And what else am I doing? I'm here every Wednesday at 5:30, so just come and check us out.
What?
What?
At the Big Nick J on Twitter. I have an Instagram, but it fucking blows. And that's it. You'll hear a commercial for Blacktop and all that. So, all right. You want to do your mics real quick though?
No.
Jesus
She needs a
fucking
cigarette.
Christ!
Can I just have a cigarette? I've had a rough day. Okay, fine.
I have to
fine.
pee again too. so,
All right,
like,
let's.
I don't
We'll
wanna
break.
take a break.
We'll be right back.
It's going to be better when we come back.
You're in for it.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you, I make you laugh.
Make sure to check out Blacktop Comedy Club in Rockland. Other than having a ton of live shows every week, they also offer workshops and classes.
Gonna learn today.
For a ton of stuff, sketch, improv, and stand-up.
Awesome.
They also have an improv drop-in class every Thursday that starts promptly at 7 p.m. Their drop-in class is the perfect place to learn improv in a supportive space. And of course, the always popular open mic, which is held every Wednesday. Sign-ups are at 6:30 and the show starts at 7. For more information, visit blacktopcomedy.com.
You're a funny guy.
And I got very little respect for that.
Yeah, don't run the light.
No.
Yeah. God damn it.
It's just the worst, especially if there's 30 fucking comics waiting to just do their 4 minutes. Don't run the light. Just be respectful.
I say look at the comics that are out there. If it's like 13 white males, 19 to 22, with a blowjob joke each,
That's all of
you
them.
could, you could run that light. But no, don't run the fucking
Sonic
light.
poetry.
About 47-year-old males with a blowjob joke.
I haven't heard you do
doing
a
with your
joke in
life,
months,
man?
Rob.
Oh damn. That was good. We are the Gag on this podcast. We are back.
So I saw Long Shot this whole weekend. It was an odd movie.
Yeah.
I never thought that.
I don't even know
What
what
the
you're talking
fuck
about.
are you talking
Yeah.
about?
So Long Shot.
Did you smoke what I was?
Long Shot is a movie that just came out. In,
I thought I left the door to the bathroom open. And you saw me
Oh,
peeing.
the long shot.
Yeah, it came out It came out 2 years ago. It's with Seth Rogen and also Charlie Theron.
I just watched it.
Yes. Why the hell did he jerk off and blow the wad onto his beard?
Goddamn spoiler alert. Jesus.
I don't know. That would be more of a
Why?
question for these men. I don't really
That would
know.
also
That's what I was going
That would
through.
also be a question for the script writer more than anything.
Or the director.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick's had it to where he couldn't control it and it went like on the wall or something. He still hasn't fucking found it.
My hair.
Yeah, but like, I don't know why guys would want to come all over themselves.
Or how they can. Like, I personally, I'm an oozer. I'm not a shooter. So.
Rob?
I'd be happy if I could reach my beard.
No, not with your dick.
Oh,
with the load.
I'd be really happy.
See that joke?
I mean, really, cum's not good for the skin. I mean, so I don't know why he would
Oh,
shoot
we've
it.
been lying? Oh, damn.
Yeah, you guys have been.
It's the saddest
You're a bunch of
fucking
fucking
thing.
liars.
When I found out that was not good for the skin, I was like, God, there went half my argument. Like, I found a woman's blog where she tried it. Like, half her face was beauty products and the other half was her boyfriend's jizz for a month. And like she was like at the end of it, and she was like really honest and really scientific about it.
She'd wear it like a mask at night.
Like, well, she'd smear it in like she would the other stuff, and then after 5 minutes she'd take it off. Yeah, it was fresh cum.
Okay.
No, it was powdered.
I mean, no. Some people like come into things and then like leave it.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
It's in the peanut butter jar.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. She said it was doing real damage to her skin by the end of it, and I was just like,
damn,
I can't show that to my wife.
No. No.
You hear that, ladies? That's why you swallow. You don't want it on your face. Just saying. That's an argument for swallow any day. All right, so I do want to talk about this before Damian does a set and comes back. So have you guys seen Black Mirror?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Really?
So
It's a good show.
Okay. Never seen Black Mirror.
Never seen Black Mirror.
So there's this one episode. I mean, do you mind if I talk about it?
Sure. I just have a simple question to ask though. Why isn't there a white mirror? Huh? Why can't we have?
Because not many.
Because it's evil.
Oh, okay.
It's British. They do everything backwards.
Okay. Well,
Sillies.
can there be like a white mirror for
Cocaine?
men? Is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm trying to sound regressive. It just
You're
doesn't
not.
come across well. No, it really doesn't.
Oh, look who it is. This is a straight up shindig right now.
All right.
So in Black Mirror, again, spoiler alert, there's an episode where...
It's like Outer Limits, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like
yeah,
Tarzan,
but it's more about... God damn it, everybody's here. It's more about how technology can end up fucking with society.
Okay.
If we let it get to a certain point.
Okay.
On one of them, you can physically be in like a video game.
Okay.
Like a Street Fighter kind of thing. Okay, so these two guys...
These were like Nickelodeon shows when I was a kid. That you could physically be in the video game. It was a side scroll. It wasn't a fighter game. Yeah.
So these two guys were playing the video game.
Yeah. Go for it.
And then they decided to play the video game and have sex inside of the video game. Like one guy was a girl, one guy was a guy, right? And they had sex in the video
I would
game.
be Dulcian if I was doing that. I'd be like, yo, Gert, fire. And
But it changed their friendship
I bet.
because they were fucking in the game. And then they decided to, fuck outside
No,
of the game?
they didn't fuck outside of the
They
game.
made out.
Stupid.
They kissed to see if there were
They
fireworks.
kissed.
Good. And?
There were none.
Damn.
Well,
now they know.
it ends. It cuts off when he's about to tell the wife something. So you're left.
Oh, shit. They're married.
One of the guys is married.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like Twilight Zone's take on Brokeback Mountain then. One of the guys was married, the other one can't quit the other.
Yeah.
And
Would
then-
you be able to, if you and Rob were playing a video game? Would
Well,
you guys?
that's what I was about to ask because it fucked me up. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's not gay because it's a chick in the game, and you're fucking a chick in the game, but it's like real. So it's the
'Cause
girl,
it's a virtual reality game.
Right.
but it's really your male friend,
Right.
and I'm like, I don't think that's gay.
Well, is it being
Technically
gay
isn't.
that's the problem, or is it the fact that you're cheating on your spouse that's the problem?
Well, technically, you're
'Cause to
not
me,
because
it's-
you're busting a virtual
No,
load.
there's cheating there because it's the
Right.
intention.
Right. And if there's cheating there, then it would also be gay
And
because there's the intention.
and answer that, not even being gay or not, it's just there's a vulnerability there that, like, I wouldn't be cool with it with you just because that's just
That's
Well,
a
first of
vulnerability
all-
you share with your wife.
yeah.
Let's get real. I'd be Blanca. You'd be Chun-Li. I would be fucking you.
Oh, my Lord.
Although Blanca, he's more of a cunnilingus kind of guy. You think? He's chomping down. Yeah.
Yeah, but I could give him the shock.
That's a good point.
Oh, shock
That's a good point.
So you wouldn't do it?
Oh, no, I'd fucking totally do it. Are you kidding me?
Would you?
It's in the game.
You and
don't know. Am
Daniel
I
are
single?
playing a game.
Uh-huh.
We'll say Daniel's married.
Okay. Okay, so same situation.
Yeah.
I'm with a married friend.
Yeah.
No, because that's their relationship, and I don't want to be a part of what breaks that up. I wouldn't want to share a vulnerability that has not been contracted to me free and clear.
Well, let's be clear. It doesn't break up the marriage.
What a moral guy.
together.
What a stand-up guy.
That makes sense. It doesn't
stand-up
really
guy.
break up the marriage.
Stand up.
What?
That really doesn't break up the marriage.
It could.
can.
You can't. That's
It
like.
could.
You haven't met my wife.
I know. Shit.
I certainly would. I would if I were on the other end of that. You know, if someone was like, yeah, I fucked my friend, but it was just in a video game. But it was. I don't know. To me that would bother me. It's like, oh, your avatar fucked someone else's avatar. Why did you choose that? Why couldn't you go to a waterfall and like dive? You know, like why did you choose an intimacy that we're supposed to share? I'm a big believer, though. Like I personally, in the relationships I'm in, I don't do the open thing. I'm an exclusive person. You know, so if they're breaking that exclusivity, even if it's just a game, it's like, but it wasn't just a game.
Would
There was
you
intent
be
there.
in a would you be in a play where you had to kiss another man and he happened to be married, or a Dungeons and Dragons?
That's
I don't know
way
if there's sex.
different, though.
Is it different?
Because it's
A
kind of a
play,
stage thing.
that's your job.
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean, you're
Stage,
there to
yeah.
perform.
But it's all role playing, right?
No. If you're in a play,
That's a
you already read the
performance.
script ahead of time too.
Yeah.
And your wife, I'm assuming, or husband, or
Spouse.
whoever,
Significant other.
would understand
Yeah.
that this is what you're going to be doing. Now, Dungeons and Dragons, that would be along the lines of the video game, and that would be
Because that's improv.
you're crossing a line.
What?
Could you marry a porn star? Like if she was just getting railed by other. Well,
Nick,
I was about to say. I was
yeah,
like,
you
wait
would.
a minute.
Could you?
What?
Like watch your partner just get railed all
I
day
could
and then
not.
no.
So a lot of the things that you're kind of asking is a moral compass. That's what seems like most of the questions you're asking. Is most of everything you're asking right now is a moral compass. Do you have a moral compass of looking at some situation and actually having either a no feel to it or it's okay?
I think my jealousy would take over.
For
I
me, it's not
couldn't
even
handle it.
morality. It's just like, oh, I can't do that.
Oh, I could do it all fucking day long, man.
He's
kidding
railing
me?
her way better than I ever could.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Oh God.
He tries way harder than I do.
nothing like a
succeeds.
downer
Succeeds.
erection.
No, I just noticed that the when the question came up with that, I started thinking in my head, said, "What?" But people do that on World of Warcraft and stuff. I mean, it's just now they put goblins and other fantasy
They
things.
You can
fuck.
fuck a goblin.
You can fuck a goblin on
Ooh,
World of Warcraft.
zug, man.
I mean, goblin it up.
That's a Warcraft thing. Zug.
Great.
Fuck
Yeah.
you guys.
So I'm just
Cock
saying.
goblin.
Well, I think Baldur's
A
Gate
cock.
2, you could hook up with a character.
Baldur's Gate.
But it was, but it's not it's not a virtual
Baldur.
person. It's just part of the game.
Oh.
I wish
But-
I was more nerdy.
See, that's different because that's a scripted thing.
Exactly.
Again.
I don't know
that's
Baldur's
different.
Gate.
Like
Great
if you have the option, and if it's an improv option, you have the chance to say yes and or no. I don't play that. That's where it crosses a line
Right.
for me. If it's a scripted thing, like there are plenty of video games where you have to seduce this character,
Exactly.
that kind of shit. It's like
God
okay,
of War.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's to me, that's nothing.
It's not a real
because
person.
You're not interacting with a real person. Exactly.
But again, you're in a game.
Yeah,
Now,
but you're interacting
interestingly,
with the person.
Like I'd fuck
Interestingly-
the shit out of you, Rob, in a game. If you were that
Someone
chick,
really needs
that
to
chick was
isolate
hot.
that.
You wouldn't like it. I just lay there.
Oh.
It's like, oh, tapioca again, but it's hairy.
Gross.
Well,
No,
so-
Nick's like a seal. He has no hair. He says.
I was talking about Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, I got a question for you though.
No
So we're
Sacramento
we're
sweaters.
fucked up about we're kind of divided in some ways about whether or not this is acceptable in a game. We have zero problem playing MMOs killing each other though,
Yeah, that's
No.
what I'm saying.
What are
which is way more intimate.
what are MMOs?
Massive multiplayer online games. So where you could be
Like
playing
Fortnite.
Call of
Yeah.
Duty or
Call of Duty, just killing off everybody.
No, Call of Duty
Yeah.
is probably.
Now, Call of
Basically
Duty, the
serial
whole
killer.
point of the game is to kill people.
Yeah.
But like if it's a game where you can explore and you go engage in PvP, player versus player, or penis versus penis, PvP.
I know P and P.
Right,
Party
yeah.
and play. Yeah.
There you go. But if you're engaging in killing people, and yet it's weird. I'll call myself out on this. I have zero problem with that.
But
That might just be gaming culture,
but
though.
that's part of it, and also it's almost like the scripted thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's someone else you're not crossing a line there because that person gets to start a new life once you shoot them. Once you cross the line of you're getting some sexual need from a stranger,
That's true.
online, there's a
true.
line that's been crossed.
You think
that
the men that call me cheat on their wives?
they might not. You might be saving marriages by
You might be the cheating that they're doing.
yeah. That's But
Yeah.
as far as physically,
Yeah, they don't know who the fuck. I mean, they know who I am, but I don't care to know who they are.
Well, and I had a friend from long ago who she and her boyfriend broke up, and he called phone sex lines for the few months that they were off. She had no problem with that. But once they got back together, he did it one more time, and she had a huge problem with that.
Yeah.
And again, that might just be, I've been with people who have had problem with me engaging in erotica. And so I have to choose, well, is that worth it to me or not? And it's like, well, probably not, because this is a real person. But I've had other people who are like, no, let's look at that together, and stuff like that. And it just different rules. And if I'm down for those rules, cool. And if I'm not, then no.
This got so fucking serious.
Let's do our Deadpool list.
Yeah, well, he's gonna go.
Yeah, I got to go do.
well, we could
comedy.
do some of the preliminary stuff.
Yeah, you guys could, do. Now, you guys are doing a list of people who should be playing
Yes.
Great Gatsby, right?
Well, is there
No.
really a list? Because DiCaprio nailed it.
Well, I just figured, yeah.
This is a list.
Actually, let's be honest. I think it was Redford did the best.
Wait. I like that you brought up DiCaprio because he played a guy who died in a body of water twice now.
Nice.
Yeah?
Oh, was that a pun?
No.
No.
Gosh damn it! How is that a pun? I don't know what puns
The
are.
Deadpool was kind of a pun.
Yeah.
Like if you said that Ryan Reynolds should play the Great
Yes,
Gatsby
exactly.
because he was both the Green Lantern and the Deadpool, that's some pun shit right there.
I'm just not witty, I guess, guys.
So a few weeks ago, Nick said Betty White was going to die
Yes.
on a specific day. And
May
he-
27th.
Yeah. Yeah, you go check in. And he got a lot of slack for it
Yeah, I did. Jesus.
from us and from every other
'Cause you do not
person
fuck
out in the
with
world
Betty
because
White.
you don't fuck with Betty White. Anyways,
Wow.
it has now led to us coming up with celebrities that we think
Celebrity death pool.
are going
We
to
didn't come
die
up with
this year.
So yes, we are taking this from somebody else because we don't have a fucking original thought.
At all.
There have been
None of our
death pools
thoughts.
out.
So
for
I
a
just
long
want to
time.
preface this: if you get offended easily, just shut the shit off because this is going to be offensive. It's
gonna get good.
While we do not technically wish them to die,
It would be great if they did this year.
exactly.
Well, there are rules, and
what's the rules?
What are the rules, Daddy?
well, the big one is you cannot contribute to this person's death.
Well, no shit.
So
Yes.
if
Darn
you,
it, you cannot.
like Nick, if you picked Betty White, you could not, and you saw her at a top of a building.
I couldn't be like
you
my
could not
God.
push her off of it.
I couldn't
take
blow
her
on her. That'll give her a fucking
No.
heart attack. Just
So the point system is, so we're going to select 20 people. We're not going to do that all on this show because that would be fucking boring.
yeah, I'll post it to our Facebook. I'll have a
Yes.
link to everything so you can follow along at home.
So we'll have 20 people. To each one of us will be running a cemetery,
Yes.
and we'll have 20 people. So we can a person can only be in one cemetery. So once a pick has been made, they're gone.
Do we each
And-
get 20 or we
yes,
each get
we
5?
each get 20. We're going to do 4 or 5 on this show.
Okay.
Say what, Jackie?
Are we calling this fantasy funeral?
No,
Yeah,
it's
but that's a good one. Ooh,
Fantasy
I like it. Maybe that'll be the
funeral.
name.
That's our original thought.
yeah.
Fantasy
We just
deaths.
took it.
And it wasn't even someone from the show. Thank you, Jackie. Jackie Pearl.
in the incubator.
So you get points. So when the person passes away, if they pass away, which we are not rooting for, but so say someone that's 50 years old passes away, you subtract that from 100, you get 50 points.
Okay.
So me selecting Kirk Douglas, who's 104.
You would be negative.
Negative
So I
4
would not
points.
select him.
You would not select him. And if you get Betty White, who's like 97,
Yeah.
you would only get like 3 points.
But if I selected Kobe, I would have gotten 68 or something points.
Yes.
Yeah, if you selected Kobe like Sharon did.
Yep. So,
Although we didn't have the list then, so no point.
Didn't count.
and there are bonuses.
Yeah, there are bonuses. So you get an extra 10 points if your celebrity is murdered.
Damn.
You get an extra 15 points if your celebrity is decapitated. By the way, all these bonus points are from
Decapitated.
they're from him. So C, we will have to amend because if your celebrity murders someone, they're still alive. So if your if your celebrity engages in a murder suicide,
No. I still like it if they kill somebody.
but then they're still alive though.
That's okay. You still get points for that.
So you'll just if
they prove
if Betty White murders somebody,
you would get 15 points.
We should have talked about this beforehand.
well, we did. You just did not participate
Oh.
with your 5 people. Okay, this one is hilarious. By the way, 15 points if your celebrity is African American and dies in February.
Ouch.
What?
Because they're both African American
'Cause
and history.
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
African American
Oh,
history.
my-
So wait a minute. What if they die? What if they die in March? Then what is it?
Nope.
Mexican?
It's just regular same.
It's just
no,
regular.
No. I'm saying if a Mexican died in March, would it be?
No, we're fucked up. We're only
Cinco de
picking out
Mayo's
one
in
race.
May.
No, I said Mexican March is.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's my first time.
Hispanic month.
Hispanic Heritage.
You haven't said that in a while, have you?
It's my first. Fuck you. I say that all the time.
15 points if your celebrity is a sports figure that dies competing. 20 points if your celebrity... What?
We got to clarify. So, like, say, like, we get a boxer, and, like, he gets the shit beat out of him on a Saturday, and 2 days later, he dies as a result of his injuries.
Has to die in the ring.
No
he has to die in the ring.
He has to
that's
die in the ring.
hard,
Wait a
man.
minute. There's no way.
It's happened.
It's not going to happen.
Because
boys.
he was-
Come on.
I say if
Wait,
they're...
all right,
if
hold
the
on.
injuries
We have
are
an
resulting
impartial
from-
party here. What do you think?
It's happened.
But
yeah.
do you think we should keep it to where they have to die during competition, or if they die as a result of something that happened during competition?
I think as a result should
I mean,
count.
they all kind of die as a result of something that happened during competition.
Well, yeah,
If
but
you
I mean,
look at
like,
it.
you could argue that...
We could say
like,
within 5 days. 5
Sayao
business days.
was a result, but no, I mean directly, like,
I like what she said. Within
What?
5 days.
5
Perfect.
business
Okay, so
days.
give
Okay,
leeway.
5
Give it
days.
leeway. Okay.
All right, so 15 points if your celebrity is a sports figure that dies 5 days with competing. 20 points if your celebrity is a political figure and is assassinated. For all you Trumpers out there. 20 points if your celebrity is a musician and dies while performing, which happened last week. And 25 points if your celebrity dies on their birthday and or wedding anniversary.
So when you say musician, can also be comedian.
I say performer, maybe.
Yeah,
we
that's what
can
I'm saying.
update it.
Can it be performer instead of? Because there's been a couple of comedians that died on the stage.
Comics die every night.
That's a pun.
I was even... This fucker comes on and he drop punts immediately. I'm sitting here.
Great. I fucking
I'm
love
sitting
how
in
witty he
Damian's
is.
seat. That's why. Like,
Jesse, that was
It's
beautiful.
the
Okay,
pun
so
master seat.
a performer. So even if it's a ballerina and they die while performing.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a ballerina. I'm
Now,
just saying.
they have to be celebrities, too.
Well, yeah.
So,
But that we can argue with because some people don't think Bad Barbie's a celebrity, but goddamn,
I don't
she
even know who
is.
the fuck that is.
if
Catch me outside.
yeah, she's a celebrity. She's a shitty one.
Danielle Bergoli.
D-list.
Yeah.
if you know her name,
Yeah, my daughter was like, "Were you like that when you were 13?" I was like, "No."
it's like, I'm like
Grandma
that
would
now.
have beat the shit
Catch
out of
me
me.
outside.
Here, everyone pick one of these numbers.
I'll just get what's left.
That's what I was going
And
to do.
that's how you like it.
Thank you.
All right, so what we're doing right now is we are picking numbers to see who goes first. We are going to do the first 5 picks as sort of a draft.
I got one.
Did
Okay.
you really? Shit.
I got
Danny
Trey.
got one. Hold on. I'm going to keep track of these.
I got 3.
I got 2.
I'm last.
I guess I don't have to whisper. Okay. Did he
No,
leave?
Jesse.
Did he leave?
He went next door to do comedy.
Yeah, and he's coming back, though.
He's coming back.
Oh, okay.
Did he just say he's not going to listen to this one?
No, I said.
I don't know what he said.
I forgot.
Okay, so we'll only do like the first few rounds.
All right.
And
By the way, if we're going in a round, let's say Sharon is first, right? Or no, Danny's
Danny's
first.
first.
If Danny has someone on their list that we also have, but she claims it,
That's
it's
done.
gone. It's
Okay.
off
Okay.
of the roster.
Okay.
just like fantasy sports.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so you are first, lady.
Corey Feldman.
Are you fucking serious?
He's on my list. God damn it.
Does anybody got an extra pen?
Here.
And you know he's a musician too, so that like raises the
Yeah,
Oh.
if he offs himself.
I fucking
Okay.
he was literally
He could
my
die.
god.
Okay,
Danny.
now that Corey Feldman has been taken
He might
and
be
Nick
dead
is
right now.
upset,
I am
pick-
I'll go get mine.
We could share.
God damn it.
can I make Nick my first pick?
Big Nick?
I thought about that. I thought about that.
You offering yourself?
Let's see. Shit, I wasn't ready. So you're still going to take
Jackie.
that one. You were out of respect for your good idea. I'm not touching that one guy you mentioned.
All right.
So who do you got?
All right. So
Hang on, it's my turn.
Yeah, it's his turn.
no, I'm third.
He's second.
Oh, he's second.
I
Okay,
haven't
okay,
picked.
go ahead.
I'm not
Yeah,
really
go
picking
ahead.
you, asshole.
You pick.
I'm going to go with Antonio Brown.
Who's that?
Oh, AB.
Ah,
'Cause
Football
he's
player?
all of
Yeah.
a sudden just in a world of shit.
All right. That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
And,
By the way, feel free to weigh in at any time, guys,
Yes.
about how stupid and insensitive this is.
I only weigh in the mornings.
All right, Sharon, you're up.
So this one I got early, but it was interesting. Prince Harry.
Ooh,
Oh, fuck
see?
you.
Wait, that's not even out. Why you don't?
I'm
what's up
right
with
there
that?
with you. I've been saying that from
Prince
the beginning.
Harry.
I want to marry him.
Prince Harry. All right.
Reason. We'll get the reason later.
Yeah.
I'll tell you later.
No, you can. What?
Because since the whole situation with him leaving,
Yeah.
they're already having people behind the bag already getting ready to take his place.
Yeah.
And his wife, and situation with his wife and all that. They're gonna basically do a Princess Diana on him.
That's what I was saying.
So he's a political figure, right?
He's a political figure.
All right.
And you could possibly argue that Lady Di was a hit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't agree with you, but you could make that argument.
Yeah, she was a hit on the wall.
Oh my
There you go.
God.
Was that a pun? Was that a pun?
Not a pun. It's not a pun.
Damn it.
It's not a pun.
I really thought that was.
Just an insensitive joke.
Son of a bitch. Okay, it's my turn?
Yes.
Jet Li.
Wow.
That's
Jet
interesting,
Li.
Mike.
He's too healthy.
Why?
No, he's not healthy. That's why I picked him.
Oh, okay.
He is suffering from an illness. So I got Jet Li. Danny?
I am going to say
Another one of Nick's
Kanye
picks.
West.
Ooh.
Oh.
Now, is that a hopeful pick? Or
Yes. I'm tired of him.
I am tired of him. Damn.
Okay. I feel horrible saying this, but Artie Lang.
Oh, he's on my list. God damn it.
That was a good one, dude.
That's safe money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, he's going
God
to
damn it.
succeed.
All right.
Sharon.
You guys are writing down everybody's picks?
I've got it. I've got a master list
okay.
here.
They trust no one.
I'll let you do it.
Okay.
Just cross out the ones that have
I
been
did.
taken. Okay.
I thought about this one. I'm looking at Elon Musk.
Whoa.
Oh.
I could see him dying during one of his vehicle tests.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, that
This is
and
like
also
a weird celebrity death bingo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
I just see that if he does do he's been talking about or claiming with the whole today SpaceX is trying to drop off some satellites and stuff, and if they get to Mars, they're gonna off him. Literally.
I don't think he'll be going.
Okay. Nick.
Oh, this is going to be tough. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Okay. I know he's had some issues. I mean, he's had a lot of issues.
I think he's going to be like roaches. He's going to live forever.
What the cat?
My
in
next
a
pick
wheelchair?
is Billie Eilish.
Damn.
Oh.
She's going for the
so bad.
points.
I love her to death, but I'm just saying she just won 4 Grammys. She's probably on a binger, and she's super young and doesn't know.
And she has a history of being suicidal.
Yeah.
So
Think about that.
okay,
And I
Sharon,
have tickets for her show.
I am
I know.
sorry,
I want to go with you.
Do it.
but
Do it.
yeah, I told Nick if he doesn't take him in the first 2 rounds, I'm taking him.
Go for it.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because they
He
just.
should have been a first rounder.
I agree. Out of respect, because that was
that's
the
what he was asking. I was like,
because they just I guess he was trying to get house arrest, and they just shot him down. So he's going to spend the next 2 years in prison. I'm like, oh, it's just
too open doored.
and he's only 23, so that means 77 points there.
Billy's
Nice.
17.
Sharon,
She's 18.
she's 18, but yeah, you
Still.
I have that date marked on my calendar.
Oh my God, you're gross.
Ew.
I love you, Jesse.
Okay, so I couldn't choose one, so I was just gonna. So I said one of the Amigos.
What?
Who are the, you mean,
Like
Steve
Steve
Quavo.
Martin
No.
Oh, you mean
not 3
Migos.
Amigos. Migos.
Chevy Chase.
I thought you said one of the Amigos, and I was
One
like,
of the Migos.
Migos? Okay,
What's
like
Amigos?
Quavo and all that?
Quavo, Takeoff, the Trap Group.
I don't even know.
I don't listen
I don't know.
to
How to write
They
this
are a
down.
rap group
Yes.
for
Well,
you
have
white
to
folk.
pick one.
No, because remember, I was going to say one of the Spice Girls.
No, you have to pick one.
All right.
Okay, I'll say Takeoff.
Wow.
Spell it.
You're not going to go with
Takeoff. Say Takeoff.
You're not going to go with Quavo?
Quavo ain't doing that bad.
Takeoff
with
what?
Cardi B, so he gets killed.
Oh, shit.
What's the last name?
no, just Takeoff.
First name
Take
take,
off.
last name off.
Takeoff.
All right. What the fuck? Okay, old man here.
All right,
Was
it's
not on my list. Your turn.
my turn, right? All right, this is going to be a good one, guys, because it's going to happen. Jussie Smollett.
Who's that?
That's the dude that set up the beating.
Yeah.
And actually, he was on my list.
Who's beating?
He said he got beat up by these MAGA people because he was going to get written off Empire.
Yeah.
If he's willing to fake that, he's willing to off himself.
Mm-hmm. Danny.
Lana Del Rey.
Damn, you are just going
Oh, you hate
young.
all the pretty girls.
I know. I want them all to die. I'm just kidding. They just all do drugs.
All right.
I'm not very good at this.
No, you are.
Lamar Odom.
Oh, damn it. He was not even on my list. That's a damn good pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Fuck.
Okay, Sherrod.
Orlando Brown.
That's a given.
Damn.
because of that. Because that last show,
I didn't even think about that.
You know, I want to throw some strategy out there to you guys.
All right.
I would be going football players over basketball players.
I have some on my list.
Yeah.
This is just my 2 cents.
I just did one. Oh wait, no, you do football over basketball.
Yeah, I would say
okay,
I would
got
pick
it.
football. I think
Well, you have
football
Antonio
players-
Brown.
I do.
Antonio Brown's football.
Not anymore.
That's true. Yeah.
Which is why I think he's going to cash in.
All right, so this one is going to just be off the wall, but Ingrid Newkirk.
Who is that?
She founded PETA.
Okay.
okay. I know what you're talking about.
She's going down, sucker.
All right, Marshawn Lynch.
Damn.
Why?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Danny with all the unpopular picks.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be unpopular. Pete Davidson.
I don't know who that is.
Oh,
really?
Oh, the comedian?
yeah.
The guy that was fucking...
I thought that one too, and he's been having some suicidal issues. I mean,
Yeah, well, he was with Ariana Grande, and now
exactly.
they're not together.
But he keeps fucking all these hot chicks.
Like Kate Beckinsale.
And he's not hot.
He's not. And I think that's going to catch up to him. He's going to be like, fuck. And he's also got lupus or some shit.
His dad died during 9/11.
Yes, his dad.
Aw.
And
Damn.
he jokes about it, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so,
got to be
okay.
able to joke about
Yeah,
it.
you
Yeah.
got to be able to joke about it.
Sharon.
So this is not my pick, but I took it anyway. Will Arnett.
Oh,
That's random.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Basketball?
Auntie Vice
Auntie
said,
Vice
Auntie
said
Vice
Will
basically
Arnett.
said that he has some dark stuff behind his closet. Just because of that happy face, he's got some stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll take
We
it.
all do.
All right. Let's see. Who should I pick next?
Steal off your list.
I'm going to fucking do it. Goldie Hawn.
Oh, you're
Ooh,
how old
I
was
have her
she?
boyfriend
She's older,
on
though.
here.
She's got to be like 63ish.
70.
It doesn't matter. It's about winning as
Yes.
much points as possible.
Okay.
All right.
True. Danny.
Okay. Lindsay Lohan.
I can't believe
I can't believe you throwing that back out.
Dude, we're in the 6th round. If you didn't pick her by now, it's your fault.
Yeah, I gave you time.
And I got to take her off my list.
If we can't be friends, she might as well die.
All right. I am going to go with Leon Spinks.
who the fuck?
Really?
Boxer.
You don't really want to speak. He got beat by Mike Tyson, but yeah.
He also has stage 4 cancer.
Ooh,
Oh,
God damn.
snap.
Research, bitches.
Literally, he was ready for this. I'm telling
I
you.
literally opened a People magazine and was like, okay.
That's what I told you to
That's even
do.
better.
I know. I took your
Even
direction.
All right,
Sharon.
so these two, I'm saying two, but I'm just picking one of them. It's a Star Trek reference. I'm going Patrick Stewart dying first.
You're an asshole.
Just because he got
Yeah, you better
Picard.
not say William Shatner because he's my boy.
No, he's like 90.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I don't care.
And he just got his divorce, and he's going to keep all his fucking money.
I'll marry
Touche.
him.
He's probably got like a 27-year-old girlfriend.
I would
Yeah.
love
But
to
I'm
be
saying
one of those
Picard. He's just. I
girlfriends.
mean,
Dude.
Patrick Stewart has been.
To me, that's like saying Betty White.
I didn't know he was still alive.
What?
It's like, yeah, he's got a new show that just
Yeah.
came out.
Picard.
Yeah.
Sorry, you
Nick.
guys.
Aaron Carter.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Spell it. Aaron.
Double Aaron.
Okay. And so
Why?
we have just completed 6 rounds. Do you want to keep going, or because people probably are
Would you
getting
like
bored
one or
now?
two more?
All right, everyone's into it because that's all you got left on your list, huh?
I mean, should we do 20 or should we do 10?
No, we can't
We
do
should do 20 because we do 20 because no one.
List.
There's a very good chance no one here dies. So you have to increase the surface area.
Oh,
so that-
Goldie Hawn is fucking dying.
Oh,
She is going.
She's gone.
All right, but yeah, let's do
Danny.
a couple more.
P. Diddy.
Ah, dang it!
why? I mean, I have no problems with that, but
I don't know.
Well,
I just
first of all, one time if you didn't see the Grammys,
I like how Sharon is about to break it down why he's going to
if
die.
you didn't see the Grammys on Sunday, he basically made a threat to the to the Grammy of awards, saying because they've been so crappy to people of color in the Grammys, that he's basically made a threat saying you have 365 days or we basically are boycotting this thing.
I didn't even know that.
I had no idea.
I just don't like
I just
music.
opened up a people.
So
Rob was at my house on Monday, and I was like, "Look, I got 5 people," and he's like,
You
"Go
need
open
more.
up a magazine and get some more names."
I even said open up a people.
That's
I'm going to go with Val Kilmer.
Oh, that's actually a good one. Fuck.
Dude, he's like always, he's got like throat cancer and stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Go for it.
Sharon.
I'm going with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, good one.
I had him on mine. Because big people don't live long.
Don't live long.
What are they, like dogs? Big dogs don't live long either.
It's exactly like
They
that.
also have hip dysplasia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kareem is 72.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice. All right, Edward Furlong.
I didn't
is
know he was
that?
still alive. The guy from Terminator.
Yeah, the kid from Terminator.
Oh.
He relapsed, and when we saw him at, we got an autograph from him at the podcast festival. Oh yeah, he was fucking shaking, and he had to. His signature was so slow.
Wow.
He's
done for.
All right, Danny.
Nick Nolte.
Ooh, good
He's
one.
still around?
Damn.
Yeah. I just watched 48 Hours.
Plus, he was on The Mandalorian.
Oh, really?
He was the
Nice.
voice of the fucking. And I've spoken.
I didn't know that.
Nice.
Okay, I'm going.
Okay.
I hate saying this. Ric Flair.
Fuck, he was on my list.
You don't even know who Ric Flair is.
God damn it.
He's still alive? Damn.
Yeah, he's 70.
Fuck you. Damn it.
I'm pretty happy with my team right now. Sharon.
Flea.
Oh, you're going after people I like. You're
Let's go Stacy Keach.
okay.
Really?
Big coke problems back in the 80s. All right.
What are we going to do? One more?
So I just thought I'd throw in a Kobe. Mine is Jimmy Garoppolo, the 49ers quarterback.
Wow.
Really?
That would be a stunner.
He's super hot, and maybe they'll win the Super Bowl, but like he might die.
All right.
During the game or
No, not during the
Oh my
game.
God! That'd be extra points.
He's not going to die during the Super Bowl.
Let's
They don't
see.
even play that rough anymore.
Okay,
They really don't.
I'm surprised this guy's still out there, but Charlie Sheen.
Oh.
I didn't even have him on my list. That's
He
a
has
good one.
AIDS, yeah.
Yeah, but they can live forever with that now.
I know. My uncle's had it for like
Yes.
30 years.
No longer a death sentence.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
a pill now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cocktail.
An AIDS cocktail.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that?
Sharon.
So the next person I put on the list would be Eminem
He's on my list.
I was about to say she.
because of
He just
his,
put out a new album?
Yeah, put a new album out, and people were looking at him like, eh.
Plus, Nick Cannon's gonna fucking pop back, man. Shit.
Well, and he looks hella sick right now. Like, I don't know why he looks so sickly.
His daughter is fucking hot.
Oh,
Woo.
my God.
Haley Jane, yeah.
How old is she?
Legal. That's all I know.
Okay, that's all that matters.
All right. My last one for this will be Demi Lovato.
She's on my list.
Wow.
You stole that from my paper.
No, she's number one.
Oh, all right.
I check her Instagram regularly.
You hit it quick.
Oh, I'm a quick hitter.
All right. So we've got through 9 rounds, which is more than we thought.
Yeah, that's enough.
Danny's Cemetery has Corey Feldman, Kanye West, Billie Eilish, Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey.
Marshawn Lynch, I don't understand that one. Lindsay Lohan, P. Diddy, Nick Nolte, and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Because his beast mode's going to run out.
And on the Govea Cemetery, we got Antonio Brown, Artie Lang, Tekashi 6ix9ine, Lamar Odom, Pete Davidson, Leon Spinks, Val Kilmer, Ric Flair, and Charlie Sheen. Sharon, you got Prince Harry, just fucked. Elon Musk, Takeoff, Orlando Brown, Will Arnett, Patrick Stewart, you're an asshole. Not Patrick Stewart, you are. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Flea, again, you're an asshole. Eminem. And Nick, you got Jet Li, okay.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake Roberts, kick a guy while he's fucking down. Jesse Smollett, Ingrid Newkirk, Goldie Hawn, Aaron Carter, Edward Furlong, Stacy Keach, and Demi Lovato.
I'm going to win.
By the way, I'm not hoping for a relapse, but Demi Lovato, that heroin is looking up mighty good.
Oh, she's a heroin?
Heroin. She had an eating disorder. By the way, if you are listening, Demi, which I fucking doubt, stay thick.
Yeah,
God
she looks
damn,
good
Your
thick.
Instagram, Deja Morgan has been knocked off. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah.
Damn.
All right.
I mean, I'll still watch Deja Morgan bake a cake for 20 fucking
Love
minutes.
them broken girls.
Jackie, do you want to hop on real quick? Maybe say something? Huh?
She doesn't want to be associated with such depraved behavior.
Oh, okay.
She's just here for support.
She doesn't feel comfortable. Okay.
So
There's too
we'll be drafting the rest of these after the show, and then
Nice.
we'll post
Yeah.
it. I might even make a whole Facebook page just for it.
Fuck it, you have nothing but
A
time.
Facebook page
Why not?
for our Deadpool.
Why not?
Okay.
Got
He
one
needs
for,
something to do.
I got plenty to do, but I can only jerk off so many times in a day.
So what do you guys think? Should we continue? What should we do?
No,
Let's
we
wrap
should
it
stop.
up. Everyone's going to get bored if they're still here.
Yeah. And my ass hurts from these chairs.
Okay. Anybody have a good
It's
Kobe
from the
joke?
chairs, huh?
No.
Okay.
Oh my my God.
Let's end on that. This is Gag on This Podcast.